to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, San Antonio. Hello, friends. It's your old pal AJ, your old pal Rob. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
It's Monday morning.
Happy Monday, Rob.
I'm having a fine Monday. This is like Christmas Eve week. We got to open a little present on Christmas Day. Little football, a little just something. Just
if opening a present is losing money on both football bets you made and getting kicked in the taint, then yep, I got a little present.
There was that. Now, unfortunately, the books took a bath, but it was a fine football game, and it's
4-0 to the underdogs.
4-0 to the underdogs.
4-0 underdogs.
What does that tell you? That tells you if you have an entire summer to practice against one team, I don't care how much better they are than you probably got a shot.
Yeah.
And I get the sense that Georgia Tech practiced all summer for Florida State. Florida State, on the other hand, was practicing for other stuff.
Well, Florida State should practice on having tomatoes thrown at them, because that's what I'll do if I ever see them.
Have you seen all the memes? Eliminated.
Well, I was watching when you came in, you were like, what are you listening to? I was listening to somebody made a video of showed all the Florida State players dancing and stuff in Ireland before the game. And it's like, see, y'all dummies. We were out there trying to get on TikTok and not being ready for the game.
Man.
And they were not ready for the game, friends.
Unfortunately. A good football game, though. A lot of fun.
Yeah, good drama. Good drama. And we had a full weekend of preseason. But next week, or I guess Saturday, we get the big enchilada.
Here it comes, baby.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get the full meal deal, full week one slate coming up. And then the next week we'll have big boy football, grown men football.
Oh, yeah. I think we got some grown men playing this weekend.
Yeah, I guess. But there's something
we'll call it adult football.
You know what we'll have? We'll double dip Saturday and Sunday is what we'll really do.
Yeah, I mean, it's adult football.
It's not really adult football.
Well, NFL's more adult than
I
mean, college football's still collegiate in all the good ways.
Yeah, you know what I hate? Like, at what point are we now that college players are? When I worked in Austin, this was particularly a problem. People get mad when you say bad things about college athletes. Like when you say
these are just kids.
Now that they're getting paid, can we say they suck at their
those
job?
Little jerks that just pulled up in the McLarens, those ones.
Are we allowed to badmouth them yet?
I think that with
kids these days,
with the pay comes a little bit. Now, I don't think we should ever forget that they are only 20-year-old football player athletes, and I want everybody listening, especially of the male persuasion, to remember how brain damaged you were at 20.
Okay.
Because we were all less than fully functional adults at 20. So I will never forget that. But when you start getting a paycheck, there comes a little bit of responsibility.
Well, let's DJ Uyunglele,
speaking of guys that suck,
who is 23. So in no country would be considered a kid.
Have you seen the meme that he feels like he's still got a couple of transfers left in him?
Yeah. He is top 25 in NIL valuation in the country. So he's one of the 25 highest paid college athletes.
He's a merc.
We cannot let him just slide because he's a kid. He's a kid.
Be nice to the young man. He has psycho defenses weren't strong. Dabo put him into some dark places.
I have given that guy so many chances. I said it's all Dabo's fault because last year he got to Oregon State and I was like, okay,
was slanging it.
I see you. Maybe it's not all your fault, DJ Uyunglele. But now I can't.
He kind of sucks, man.
Indefensible for you to be that big and that athletic and that crappy at football.
He doesn't throw the football well. I don't know what he does well, but throwing it's not his strong suit.
He's really good if he's throwing it like the distance between me and you.
Well,
he's got a very high completion percentage on 3-yard routes.
Well, I mean, we all have our strengths. Unfortunately, that doesn't play well in the ACC.
No. I guess it played well in the Pac-12.
That's what I'm saying.
Is
this a reflection on the Pac-12, or is this just a reflection on DJ Ugalele?
I guess when you think it's like, well, this ain't USC's defense you're playing against, Bubba.
You're not rolling against Berkeley.
Boy, yeah, it was nice playing that USC defense, wasn't it? Yeah, you don't get that anymore, pal. Now you got to take on the Rambling Wreck.
All right, so we had that, and that was before. So I watched that.
That was early morning.
Like, that was a kick in the nuts.
But I will say this: it could have been a kick in the nuts for me because I was going to bet more on Florida State. I was at a casino in Louisiana. And I went to the machine because the sportsbook was all the way across the casino. And they're like, oh, but there's a little kiosk there. I was like, okay. I swear to God.
That tells me a lot
I'd been up until 4 a.m.
I don't want to walk across the casino to lay a bet. Okay.
I'd been up till 4 a.m. playing blackjack.
I just told me your state of mind when you said, there's a machine.
I slept for a couple of hours. Then they were like, I'd started my next blackjack session. And I said, oh, the game's about to start. Because I was watching it on TV, seeing all the pregame warm-up stuff. I was like, all right, let me go throw a little more down. I knew I had some, but I wanted to this is dumb. I wanted to have a ticket in my hand. Like somehow my dollars that are in accounts,
like in your phone.
Yeah, like those aren't real dollars. I need a piece of paper in my hand.
Well, when in Rome, man. Yeah, you like to have the thing you can rip it up, toss it when you're mad.
So I go to the machine. I say, I leave my chips at the table and hold my spot. I go to put it. It's 11:02. I know damn well the game hasn't kicked off yet because I'm seeing it in front of me, but it was too late to make a bet. So thank God I saved myself a little bit, but it didn't get any better. It didn't.
So what you had the Delaware State in the under?
No, I had Florida State to cover. They obviously lost outright because they are dog water, as the kids say.
Yes, they are.
And I had Hawaii in the first half. My thinking, Hawaii is going to show up. They are going to put up a big number, and then they're going to sit around in the second half and not do anything because they don't want to show anything because I think they play UCLA next week. And they didn't put up a big number at all. I mean, it started out okay. It was like 14-0 in the first quarter. And I was like, okay, I'm on my way. They didn't score again in the first half. They let Delaware State score.
It would be nice.
And it's like, dude, what are we doing? And then they end up not covering. SMU barely beats Nevada, and Nevada stinks.
That was what happened between those two teams? All that was a big fight.
I mean, SMU was getting whooped. And they came back and scored 16 points in the fourth quarter and won the game by 5. Freaking the bet regret that I have is not backing New Mexico because I was like, I
wouldn't have touched that.
An FBS team getting 13 points against an FCS school just felt wrong. And I was sitting there. It was like, it was 21-0 New Mexico. And then I think they were beating the hell out of Montana State. And then you see, okay, this is why New Mexico was a dog because Montana State scores 21 unanswered and beats New Mexico. Although New Mexico still would have covered, they still lost at home to an FCS school. So they're still absolute garbage.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what that tells us about what's coming up this weekend, but if you look at the medium schools playing the big schools, think that they have practiced the entire summer for this school, kind of like what Georgia Tech did. So look at the close ones, look at the unders, because I think there's going to be more of those this week.
Particularly the ones that have look ahead.
Yes.
And that includes Texas.
Look out for Colorado State. Remember what they did to Colorado last year, man. This is a team that is talented, and you give them enough time and enough prep and keep them healthy. I'm not saying they're going to lose to
no.
The keep it close. What is 32.5 is what I'm seeing with Texas. Yikes! There's some money in there. We just got to find the right 3 or 4. 8:30s are going to be fun this week.
Yeah, so
9:30s.
So just keep in mind that there's Fresno State's playing Michigan. Michigan's a 21.5-point favorite.
That's a lot of money.
Fresno State's been thinking about this all off. This is the Super Bowl for Fresno State.
Seriously.
They see a wounded giant. You know how good it would look on your resume to beat Michigan? No one's going to remember it was a down Michigan year. They're just going to remember Fresno State went to the big house and won.
Or got really, really close.
Yeah.
UTSA, Kennesaw State coming up 24.5 for a new quarterback at UTSA. That's a big number.
Kennesaw State's literally the worst team in
I'm just saying, you get them. We watched. You think Georgia Tech is more talented than Florida State?
No.
Although Haynes King.
But they have they have their own uniforms. They don't have to borrow uniforms. It's like, they've got pads.
This is going to be a long season because I get the sense that Georgia Tech might actually be legitimately pretty good.
They might be.
And Haynes King, formerly of A&M, and might be the biggest part of the regret from Jimbo's era might turn out being Haynes King.
Letting him get away.
Well, not letting him get away, forcing him out.
Yeah.
Jimbo ruined him.
Yeah. That'll probably come back and bite him a little bit.
Looks like it.
It'll come back and bite him. Yeah, but either way, we're in full-blown football mode now. It's here.
We're here. We made it. It's Christmas Eve. We get it all week long.
Have made it, thankfully. And in fact, we got some Georgia Clemson is on the schedule for this weekend. So we got some good games. Florida, Miami, Notre Dame, A&M. There's some damn good games.
This Notre Dame A&M thing. It's the perfect start for the Aggies.
This is what you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, good, bad, or indifferent.
You're going to know.
I want a measuring stick. I want to know where we're going.
Well, I will say this. At least, you don't have the trap game but leading up to the Notre Dame game.
There's a little bit of a candy cane coming on the other side.
So it's like you'd probably rather have it in that order. Start out with a big game. Although I would think Florida State had to look at this Georgia Tech game as a big game.
They did.
Because you're – but here's the other thing. What I don't want, and this is a lesson I took away from this, what I don't want anymore is if there is, a big game but a clear favorite, I don't want the distraction of overseas travel. I just don't, because I'm seeing all these Florida State players doing these Irish jigs, dancing around Ireland the day before the game. I don't want that. I don't want. You got to be locked in, Bubba, and they clearly weren't locked in. I had myself a wild weekend. We'll talk a little about what I did over the weekend. We'll talk some Cowboys today. We'll talk some Bernie Little League and the robbery that took place over the weekend. So much fun, so much frivolity. We've got McCarthy sound. We've got Tre Lance sound. Looks like Tre Lance has made the team, but also looks like Tre Lance absolutely sucks. So we got a lot to discuss on that front. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Fall Golf Classic is back. Monday, September 30th at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Fall Golf Classic, benefiting San Antonio sports, is presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chungla, sponsored in part by Jim Beam, PPL Motorhomes, Flight by Yingling, Tomalitos Mexican Restaurant. The Fall Golf Classic, happening Monday, September 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
Jane, I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
Or being a dog person and a cat person.
Who wants a treat? Who's a good boy?
Or like being an extrovert and an introvert.
Woo! This is so fun! I can't wait to go home!
At T-Mobile, you don't have to choose. You can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how much you can save with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, when you switch, you can keep your phone and we'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device, credit, service, and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, name member FDIC.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, you can upgrade your home with up to $1,500 off select appliances from top brands like Whirlpool. Enhance your kitchen with quality and convenience from Whirlpool, like the freestanding electric range with built-in air fryer and the tall tub dishwasher with third rack. All available at the Home Depot. Right now, shop Labor Day savings up to $1,500 off select appliances at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid August 22nd through September 11th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
St. Louis brought the world gooey butter cake. Now Bluebell brings us gooey butter cake ice cream. A cake batter ice cream with a luscious cream cheese swirl and gooey butter cake pieces. It's the gateway to the best in pints and half gallons.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Fisher's Market Stores and Shell at Cinnamon Creek.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. The Aggies take on the Notre Dame Leprechauns, presented by Ewald Kubota. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Northeast side, you do have a pocket of heavy traffic. I-35 southbound as you approach O'Connor. Might want to add a few extra minutes to your commute, but really no major delays. On the southwest side, just a note, I-35 southbound, the exit ramp to Fisher Road is closed due to road construction. But the good news is that time delay is more of an inconvenience. I'm Dan Miles, KTSA. Time saver traffic.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime. Debbie, our normal traffic gal, probably stuck in traffic somewhere. She couldn't even make it in this morning.
Yeah, surprising traffic on 410 this morning.
I want to give a suck the hold to 1604 today and to 410 today, both of which, I don't know. First of all, 1604, when I got on, smooth sailing right away. It's like, okay, this is normal. There's no cars. And then right when I came to the flyover thing, dead stop.
That's a nightmare. There's nowhere to go. You're
and
stuck.
I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we stopped here? I sent you a picture of like the cars in front of me just stopped. I'm like, why is this happening? Finally, I got off on the shoulder and took an exit, and then like went to the stoplight and took a right, and then got onto 281. And then I get down to 281's great. 280, what a road, 281. There's never construction on it, at least between
because
all
that
410 and 1604, at least I never see it.
Well, because all that happened about 5 years ago.
Okay, God bless
So
him for
you
finishing
got here
before
to
I
see
lived here.
what I'm going through at the I-10-1604 interchange is what the 281-1604 folks went through about 5 years ago.
Okay, well, good. It's very nice, very nice. Good job 5 years ago, guys.
You lucky bastards.
Now I get on to 410, and 410's down to like one lane. All
410
of a sudden.
east of, I guess we began right there at Nacogdoches. They started shutting it down to one lane. Yeah.
What are they doing?
I never got a chance to see. Luckily, they forced us off at our normal exit, but I
But if I had to go one more exit past it, I'd be SOL.
Screwed.
I mean, luckily, again, not enough traffic at this time of day that we really are dealing with it. But, thoughts and prayers if you're out there in it now. I imagine it's not fun.
Well, they better be picking them up. Better be done.
I drove to, actually, I passed.
So she's just right off 10, so that's not far.
Yeah, well, I met her. She lives at the beach, but they've got a house there in Shiner, which isn't too far from the I-10. I left my car at my brother's house. He lives in Flatonia. And we get on the road and smooth sailing until we get Houston. And then in Houston, there's the inevitable slowdown. It's Friday, even though it's like the middle of the day on Friday, it's still it's never good being in a big city on a Friday. People leave early. It is what it is. We get through Houston and we're on our way to Lake Charles. And my mom says, like, my mom used to always drive my grandmother before she passed. My grandmother always, she loved the casino, loved it, loved to gamble. And, but she didn't want to go over the bridge in Lake Charles. And for those who don't know, and Rob was unaware of this, even when I told him today, the Calcaso Bridge on like the I-10 bridge that goes across Lake Charles, that big, tall arch bridge, is widely regarded as the bridge that's most likely to fail in the modern world, in the U.S. So the National Bridge Inventory has rated the bridge a 6.6, which doesn't sound that bad, right? Until you say it's out of 100.
Dude,
6 points, not out of 10, 6.6 out of 100.
So wish I didn't know this.
Yeah. So there is a bypass where you can go down by LaBerge and the Nugget, and you can go around the whole thing and get back on I-10. It takes about 10 minutes for longer to do this. But my mom said, because my grandma always made her do it, but my mom says, should we take the bypass? She said it literally as she passed the exit to the bypass. Like, well, it's too late now.
Dude.
Now it says, according to this National Bridge Inventory, it rates the superstructure, the river bridge deck, superstructure, and substructure as serious condition, with the structural evaluation as basically intolerable, requiring high priority of corrective action. Serious condition is defined as loss of section, deterioration, spalling, or scour have seriously affected primary structural components. Local failures are possible, fatigue cracks in steel or shear cracks in concrete. They said 30 years ago is when they decided we need to replace this bridge, and they haven't yet, even though it is looked at as the most critical infrastructure project in the U.S., located in the center of the nation's industrial construction zone, where America's emerging energy independence and worldwide dominance is taking place. $108 billion in industrial projects are right there in Southwest Louisiana. And one day that bridge is going to collapse into that river and everything is going to shut down. Everything's going to shut down. But for now, it's just like, oh, well, test your luck.
Dude, what it's called, the Rainbow Bridge? Is that what people have called it before?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people have called it that.
That is, for me, who I have a fear, whatever, of heights. That is the scariest. And when you're coming from Texas going that way, You don't realize you're about to go up there until you're committed.
Well, also, I don't know if you know this, if you're aware, after I told you all this stuff that's wrong with that bridge, in one of the hurricane, there's a casino right there at the, like when you first get on the bridge. It's now the Horseshoe, which is a Caesars property. I didn't realize it now, but it used to be like, there was a boat.
Yeah.
And they built a hotel, and you had to get onto the boat
Yeah, I
to
remember.
gamble.
Yeah.
Well, in one of the hurricanes, that boat got thrown into the bridge, messed up the boat, of course, damaged the bridge. And they were just like, well, we'll just build a new casino. Don't worry about that bridge. It'll fix itself. It's like, oh, it's a disaster waiting to happen. But luckily it didn't happen. And
well, I'll never be on that bridge again. I'm out.
Here's what happened though. On the way in, we stopped at Buc-ee's in Baytown and to go to the restroom. And my mom is like, we're supposed to meet at the front. I was like, where the hell is she? What's going on? She taking a dump or what? No, she lost her wallet. She left it in the bathroom. And of course, she's panicked. She's got all her credit cards, her ID, all that stuff. And she goes up to the front. And she's like, she's telling me I lost my wallet. I said, oh my God.
Well,
on the way to the casino, it's like the worst possible time. And the lady goes over the loudspeaker. Has anyone seen this wallet? Blah, blah, blah. And then she said, wait, what color is it? My mom said, it's pink. She said, is it this one? Oh, it was. Not a thing missing. Not even cash.
The kindness of strangers.
Not even cash missing from it. And then, so when we hit that bridge, I said, Mom, if God wanted you to die today, he would have had someone steal your wallet. That's the way I looked at it. Is like, we wouldn't have gotten that blessing if we were meant to die on this bridge today. My biggest takeaway from the casino was this. I had some really good meals at the casino or in the general vicinity of the casino. We went to a little small town I say a small town like Kinder, Louisiana is not a small town, but a suburb of Kinder, Louisiana called Elton. And there is a really dumpy, I guess it's a store called Mr. T's. And you get boudin there, and I had boudin and frog legs, and it looks like the kind of it looks like about like what the underside of that bridge probably looks like. It looks like a place you would never want to eat food, but they've got incredible food. And on the door on the way in, there's a sign that says, "Absolutely no sagging pants. If your pants are sagging, you will be asked to pull them up or leave." Leaves in all capital letters. And that was probably the best. I had a ribeye steak and asparagus and crab meat at the restaurant in the casino.
Was that good? By the way,
it was good. The boudin and frog legs was better.
That goes without saying. Fried frog legs.
Fried frog legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never had them another way, but I assume there are.
Yeah, you can get them other ways, but fried's the way to go. But that Saturday night. Now Saturday night's the end of our trip. We're leaving early Sunday morning, and I've lost my ass at this point at the casino. So I'm done gambling. I've tapped out. You guys beat me. I'll get you next time. I go to the sports book, which is called the Res, because I want to see the last few fights of the UFC card and the Floyd Mayweather John Gotti III fight. What if you want to call it a fight? 2-minute rounds. They're like the referee's talking to them in the middle of the fight while the clock is still just ticking down. I'm like, if I bet on this fight, I would have killed myself. I don't even know.
Was it even an attempt to be real?
I don't think they were even trying to pretend like it's real at this point. But I go into the bar, I sit down, and it's about 5 minutes after 10. I say, can I get a menu? Oh, our kitchen closed at 10. Oh, that's terrible news. So I go next door to this little, it looks like that's about my meal right there on that picture. That looks almost exactly like my meal.
Leave that back up.
So I go next door. There's like a little cafeteria, and I get a piece of catfish and some red beans and some crawfish etouffee. I'm like, okay, this is going to work. I go back to the Res Sportsbook and sit down to watch the fights. I order a beer. and I'm watching these fights. Well, this waitress comes up and says, "Hey, sir, you can't have any outside food in here."
Is it outside?
Well, that's what I'm. First of all, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, listen, the same Native Americans, all the money's going into one big pot at the end of the day. These guys are getting it. All right. So I don't say anything. I just get up and out of her sec. I close up my food box. I go to the bar. I don't want to sit in this lady's section anymore. She's not even waiting on me. I got my beer at the bar. And I tell the bartender, I say, listen, I want to bitch to you for a minute. I know you're probably going to take her side. I said, but when the kitchen's closed, who gives a bleep if I've got outside food in here? And she's like, no one cares. I said, well, that waitress cares. She's like, what?
She's trying to get you to order is what she's trying to do.
Yeah, and then this bartender goes and chews her ass. It was the best feeling and she said, you can eat wherever you want, sweetheart. I love women in Louisiana. They're the nicest people. I'll also say this. Louisiana I don't think there's any girls in Louisiana that if you were the kind of person who rated girls on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't think there's anything between a 4 and a 7 in Louisiana. They're either super smoking or they are a absolute walking nightmare. Like there's no middle ground. It's super hot or total disaster. And I think eventually once meth and cigarettes catch up to the super hot, they just become the super disaster. I'm of the belief that damn near every Louisiana girl is born beautiful. And then at about 25, some tragedy befalls them.
Well,
and they go into this, into this tailspin where they turn into a swamp creature.
I've seen a few swamp creatures come out of some small Louisiana towns, but there's also, I get you.
But I'm saying, how old are they? Young swamp creatures?
Well, yeah, well.
I think they're all born hot. And then at about 25, I don't know. I don't know if like a hurricane happens and a tree falls on them or the ugly tree. I don't know.
All I can picture is like Daisy Duke walking around when you talk about
there's a lot of that.
Pictures.
And like the dealers,
farmer's daughter,
the dealers at this casino. I mean, these are some of the prettiest women you will ever see, or there are women with no teeth. And it's like, how did you? The only explanation is that one eventually becomes the other. It's the only explanation. Unless it's like, Shrek in reverse, like where the princess turned, or like, because that's what it feels like. It's like the princess turns into the ogre.
Yeah.
But either way, God bless Louisiana.
I think it's the boudin.
Maybe
too much boudin and red beans.
Maybe that's what it is.
It affects everybody.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk some Cowboys. A perplexing final preseason performance. Is that a good word for it? Perplexing?
Pretty well. No, I'm not perplexed. It's about what I expected. If you want to be realistic,
there were people saying some nice things about Tre Lance. I'm not going to say any of those things. And there are people who are like, well, it's an up and down day. Listen, but you know what? Let's save it. We'll talk about the day of Tre Lance on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on the Blitz, we are back home from Las Vegas. What a trip that was. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that.
Maybe a little bit, but we will talk with the legend that is retiring, Bill Land, longtime voice of the Spurs. He'll join us at 3:35.
And Jeff Traylor will make his first visit at 5:15.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, this is Congressman Joaquin Castro. Here in Military City, USA, we're proud to stand by our veterans. Every year, my office is honored to help San Antonio veterans and military families with delayed benefits, claims, and service questions. Just know that if you need a hand, we're here for you. Call 210-348-8216 or visit castro.house.gov/help to learn more. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
St. Louis brought the world gooey butter cake. Now Bluebell brings us gooey butter cake ice cream. A cake batter ice cream with a luscious cream cheese swirl and gooey butter cake pieces. It's the gateway to the best in pints and half gallons.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Fisher's Market Stores and Shell at Cinnamon Creek.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
On the northeast side, they do have a pocket of heavy traffic. I-35 southbound as you approach O'Connor. Might want to add a few extra minutes to your commute, but really no major delays. On the southwest side, just to know, I-35 southbound, the exit ramp to Fisher Road is closed due to road construction. But the good news is not really causing any time delay, just more of an inconvenience. I'm Dan Miles, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is really intense.
It's an intense type of day.
Is that louder than normal?
I don't know.
I think it is, but
you're sounding it just.
Yeah, boy, that's hardcore. It's
hypersynth.
So it's only 6:39 in the morning, Edwin. It's too early for that. Skrillex, let the beat drop.
Feels very Skrillex-ish.
Vaqueros de Dallas finish up the preseason, and listen, wins and losses in the preseason matter literally none. But either way, I mean, if we're keeping score, I'm going to tell you the Cowboys lost. And if Tre Lance were a running back, man, this would have been a real good day. 11 carries, 90 yards, and a touchdown.
It was one good rip.
I'd feel good about that. Unfortunately, Tre Lance is not a running back and also throws the ball. And 5 times threw it to the other team.
Well, I don't know what everybody's so mad at him about. I mean, did he not perform exactly to what expectations were? There were some good moments. There were a couple of dimes he threw. He can certainly run with it. The dude can tote the mail, as we used to say down south. But no, he is a third-string quarterback and slung it appropriately. And was Dak calling all those plays?
I don't know, but
Scott Tolzien, the quarterback.
Oh,
coach.
Tolzien was calling the play. So Dak didn't call him?
No.
See?
Thank goodness.
They should have let Dak call him.
Seriously.
I mean, you know what? I'm not mad at the dude for quarterbacks do. I don't know. What did we expect from him?
You know what? Can I just say something now that Edwin tells me Scott Tolzien was calling? If I were Scott Tolzien calling plays and my job, like on my business card, says quarterbacks coach, I wouldn't let Tre Lance throw a pass. And once he threw the 3rd interception, I'd be like, he's not throwing it again. He's only going to run, because this only reflects on me as a play caller and as the quarterback's coach. I don't want my guy to throw 5 picks. Now, if Dak were calling the plays, I'd say it's a conspiracy theory. I'd say Dak wanted Tre Lance to look bad, so he just kept telling him to throw.
I would have thought. Like, either cut the man some slack or
but
give him some bread and butter, man.
The 2 guys who are most on the hook for Tre Lance would be whoever decided we're going to trade a pick to get him.
That's the owner.
And the quarterback coach whose job it is to fix that guy.
That's Scott Tolzien. I wonder what his contract status is.
I'm guessing it's like every other coach on the Cowboys, and it is expiring.
Yeah, I'm not
it's like
mad
that commercial. Expired.
It's what it feels like.
That's going into the coach's office for the Cowboys. Expired.
Now, granted, a lot of those throws were errant. They were not accurate passes. But
that's good evaluation.
But okay, we're chasing incremental growth here.
Okay,
you know, we're chasing. We're not looking for Mahomes.
No,
we're not even looking for CJ Stroud here. We're just looking for just baby steps up. So if you remember the first game, we had a lot of quarterbacks standing in the pocket, looking, running. There were, he just stood there and was frozen by it, didn't know where or when. Now, at least he's letting it go. I mean, I'm not being facetious here. I'm telling you that there is some growth from what we saw initially till now. Now, is he confused by coverage? Obviously. Is there some accuracy issues? Evidently.
Yeah.
But I will say this, in his defense, he looks like a third-string quarterback. Now, he looks like we've paid way too much and are way too committed to a very expensive third-string quarterback. But as far as what do you want in a third-stringer? You want a guy where you see some good things, some things you can build on, and some things you got to get rid of. And that's what we saw in this third-stringer. Unfortunately, the cost for this third-stringer next year is so extraordinary. You wonder, why is he still here? Because he won't be here next year. We're not going to pay him what he is due contractual or as a fifth-year guy. I mean, that's kind of stuck with this money. So he ain't going to be back next year. That's my only problem with this. But if Jerry, you want to spend this kind of money, $5 million on a third-string quarterback, more power to you. But he won't be here next year. It's wasted effort. And the good news is we can put this thing to bed.
I would also say the good news is outside of the turnovers, the Cowboys dominated this game. And now, mind you, I think there may have been 5 guys on the Chargers whose names I'd even heard in my life. Yeah. I mean, these are, and one of them is Simi Fehoko, who we know him because he used to be a Cowboy. And one of them is Cameron Dicker, who's a kicker. I know his name because he's the starting kicker, the only starter that played for the Chargers. I mean, it was a crumb bum crew of Chargers, but the yardage 558 to 308 Cowboys. First downs, 31 to 11. Time of possession, Cowboys 41 minutes, Chargers 19 minutes. I mean, it was a really dominant performance outside of the -5 in the turnover department, because they did have 6 turnovers overall. They did have a fumble lost as well. So well done on that. But it's just that whole protecting the ball thing in the NFL, really what it boils down to is that's the most important. It's more important than everything else in the world.
Yes.
If you can tell me who's going to win the turnover battle, I'm going to tell you who's winning the games almost every time. And if you're +5 and you don't win, which the Cowboys did find a way to do at one point, it's a miracle has happened. When you're -5 in turnovers, you're not supposed to win ever.
Never. And if you do, the team you're playing obviously is as bad with the ball as you are. I mean, that just goes without saying. The domination of this offensive line throughout preseason. The line, the second stringers have measured up to a couple of teams' first stringers. Now, San Diego didn't matter, but we saw them look really good against the Rams early on in practice.
We like to call them LA. I'm sorry. They're scallywags.
That's what they are.
Yep.
But through and through, my takeaway from preseason is if I'm the offensive staff, the line is my first problem, and if that's not a problem, a lot of things are going to get a lot easier as we get rolling through here.
Yeah. Cowboys did announce that Cooper Beebe is going to be the starting center, which when we left camp didn't seem like it was going to be the case. So it looks like Brock Hoffman is going to be that swing interior guy.
It's an RPP. You've got a legitimate backup center guard guy that you're not worried about having to play.
And let's face it, I think that this is one of those things that if Cooper Beebe, if things don't work out well, at least you feel comfortable like you've got something that you can put in its place.
Absolutely.
So that's always a positive thing. The 5 interceptions wasn't the worst thing that happened to the Cowboys last week. We'll talk about that on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Right now that's Monday morning. A lot of people waking up and going to face the truth, going to stand on that scale and have to pay for their sins over the weekend. If you're on some kind of diet where you get a cheat and then you have to get back on that, you're not on something that you're going to be successful with. If you feel the need to cheat, then you're never going to be successful. You need to talk with Dr. Jacob Torres over at the Institute for Functional Health. I met him some years back. I was the kind of guy or kind of person you are. I tried diets. I cheated. I got on other things. I lost some weight. I gained more. If that's been you over the years, or if you're just sick and tired of being overweight, I want you to talk with Dr. Torres because he's been really, really successful with people just like us. We want to feel better. We want to look better. We want to try, but really we've never been given the avenue, the coaching, or the monitoring that is required to be successful. Dr. Torres has just that. He has the program. He understands the lose weight. Well, we all do it the same way. That hasn't changed over the years. But the things that go along with it that can help you be successful, the neck up things and the biological things that you might not have considered are where Dr. Torres has been so successful. Write this number down. It's 210-468-1891. His website is iffhealth.com. Go there, do your due diligence. But if it's time to change your life, there's no better opportunity or available than Dr. Jacob Torres in the Institute for Functional Health. You call him today. I'm pretty sure you're going to change your life. And when you do, come by and thank me later.
This is Jim Rome. Check out the Morning Huddle, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's football season, and you know the best place to watch games is at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road, with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. College, pro, the games are on at the Roo. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Head to Mattress Firm's best sale of the year, the Labor Day sale. Get a king bed for a queen price. Save up to $700 plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, You know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Smoky Moe's Texas Barbecue is the best neighborhood barbecue in San Antonio. Stop in for a signature chopped Baker potato. Pick up brisket, turkey, and mac and cheese for family dinner. Order freshly made breakfast tacos. Whatever you choose. Smoky Moe's Barbecue serves great tasting Texas barbecue fast and friendly. Tailgating? Order Smoky Moe's Barbecue for your perfect tailgate or game watching party. They'd love to see you at any area Smoky Moe's. Order for pickup or delivery at SmokyMoe'sBBQ.com. Smoky Moe's, the pit is lit. How about them Cowboys? Jim Beam, bringing fans together across Cowboys country. We rise as one in Texas in handed-down silver and blue jerseys. We come together for America's team every time they take the field. So let's share a round of Jim Beam highballs on game day in Cowboys country. 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2024 James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Bum 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 bum. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, my good friend Jeff.
El Jefe.
El Jefe. Glad you had some breakfast, brother. We have a good friendship through Valero. We trade gifts in passing.
Soda and chips.
So he got some. He got me some stuff over and I just kind of we don't see each other.
Is this like a bar where you write one beer for Rob?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Okay,
and
like
he's done as much for me, but he had an opportunity to stop by the Valero. I left him something, or at least I'd left the money for him to get whatever he wanted, and then he has done the same for me.
Whatever you want.
That's cool.
One day he's going to buy a pornographic magazine and say, "Thanks for the porno mag."
I wonder if they have those behind the counter. I don't think the Valeros do that anymore. It's hard to find jugs anymore. You have to really.
I don't remember the last time I saw a nudie mag anywhere.
You have to go. Well,
other than an airport.
Airports, and those are all those weird sticky paged.
Well, no, they're always wrapped in
books.
plastic, is what I see.
And then there's the the alternative
Megaplex
news areas where you go find the observers and the not the inquirers. What's the San Antonio alternative news source?
Like I don't know what's San Antonio's version of like the Austin Chronicle.
Yeah. We had like the Observer and those. So you go there. Normally you can find these really intricate art pieces that you can ingest a variety of smokable things.
Oh,
the those stores. Like I think that's where you'd have to go find
Edwin would know.
What is it?
Sure.
Yeah. Is that what it is, Edwin?
I guess.
Where do you get your nudie mags? Same place you get your weed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Undisclosed location.
Okay.
The dark web.
Yeah. That seems
gets
about
it
right.
off the dark web.
That seems about right.
Wherever that is.
Not during the game, but during the week leading up to the game, the Cowboys lose DaRon Bland. And this is bad.
Distressing.
Yeah. And it's funny because Trayvon Diggs is a guy who obviously has some abilities. He's a he's a playmaker, but I don't know that Trayvon Diggs is like a real good corner because it feels like either Trayvon Diggs is intercepting the ball or getting roasted.
Well, he was getting burnt deep, but let's there were responsibilities that he was not for. Some of those things were not always his fault, but yeah, when you get a guy that's a ball hawk, you're going to get beat deep. And I think that at least Dan Quinn took that as an acceptable risk. Go for the ball. And we'll give up a touchdown here or there. DaRon Bland the same way. And combined, it was pretty scary. But when you have one guy that will take the risks, that's a little concerning because we saw what happened. He was getting beat deep.
Well, let's talk about what this could look like for the Cowboys on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's sports star.
The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM, Floresville.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. I'm one of 5 million active members. I play every day because you know why? It's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports because I get to use my knowledge and apply it to win some serious money. And as a player, they invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if your pick don't hit. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with just as simple 4 correct picks. It is that easy to play. You can have fun. It's simple. It's a great playing experience, and you can use your knowledge. How well is Tyreek Hill going to do this week? How is Dak Prescott going to play? If you know, you go play. It's Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code Alamo and get $50 instantly when you play. That's code Alamo on Prize Picks. You get $50 instantly when you play just 5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc. All rights reserved. Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
What's wrong? My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation. Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card? Uh-huh. Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase. Really? Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like Certainty Landmark Pro, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through November, purchase Certainty through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $750. Beacon, always building.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
St. Louis brought the world gooey butter cake. Now Bluebell brings us gooey butter cake ice cream. A cake batter ice cream with a luscious cream cheese swirl and gooey butter cake pieces. It's the gateway to the best in pints and half gallons.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Fisher's Market Stores and Shell at Cinnamon Creek.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Northeast side is still working that accident. I-35 northbound at Evans Road. Only one lane squeezing by. Traffic is stacked pretty solid now from Copperwine. About a 30-minute delay. On the west side, they're working an accident. Left lane blocked on Highway 151 eastbound at Callahan. About a 20-minute delay. Then on the far west side, a pocket of heavy traffic. Highway 90 eastbound between Highway 211 and Hunt Lane. About a 10-minute delay. Dan Miles, KTSA, time saver traffic.
94.1 FM. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Bernie Little League fell just short over the weekend, falling in the U.S. Championship to the Southeast team 10-7. In the NFL, Dallas Cowboys fell 26-19 in their final preseason game to the Chargers. Tre Lance threw for 323 yards and a touchdown. But, 5 interceptions in the loss. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, boys and girls. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're talking Cowboys. A little less abrupt when you get rid of the music.
Sorry.
It just goes. You can't just let it disappear. I sound like a crazy person, Edwin.
It'll be done in like 10 seconds.
I know, but you fade down slowly. Haven't you ever been a wacky morning rock DJ?
No.
Oh.
Last year is when first time I did mornings.
Oh, okay.
He was the legendary BJ Hunter.
There's a slow fade. Slow fade. All right? Slow. That's why they call it a
Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Let's get another one in there. Let's do this for real.
Okay.
And action.
Action.
Just any music. It doesn't matter. Any.
Action.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans.
All right, here we go.
Than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. It's a wacky morning show right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. AJ and Rob, Edwin slowly fading out the music.
Slowly fading. See, this is respect. See what you're doing there?
Yeah, man. Welcome in to the Morning Huddle. I like what you're doing.
Excellent job. Man.
That is how it's done.
Yes.
You've got this. It's mastered.
Well, you know.
No, is that...
So I'm better than Tre Lance?
Are you doing that with one button? With one fader?
Yeah.
You see how easy it is?
Oh.
I'm a radio master. You learn from me, Edwin.
So you've sat on that side of the glass?
No.
I never, I wouldn't know how to tell him to do anything.
I you know what? I did sit on that side of the glass for I don't know, maybe a year. But
I wish I had.
But my job was to be on the mic. I just also knew how to run the board.
Yeah, I'm illiterate over there, and it's shameful. I'm embarrassed by my inabilities on that side of the glass.
Well, I'm a radio professional.
I thought I was until I met Edwin.
Yeah, and now you know.
I know what a professional is, and I need about 9,900 hours before I'm there.
Now you know what it takes to get to the big time.
So you're like Tre Lance, and you need a bunch of reps?
I need a bunch. See, I'm like Tre Lance. I have good things and bad things about my game, but the upside, just think of the upside. I'm the acorn that becomes the mighty oak.
I'm like Cooper Rush. I show up, I do a little bit of work, and then I just feel good about myself and watch you guys screw up.
I'm going to get paid. I'm going to sit over on the sidelines and laugh and laugh.
That's it. That's the way it should be.
Salud.
Thank you. I had a sneeze. That was not professional at all.
No, you can't. That's a bodily function you cannot control. Don't hold that back. You'll blow an O-ring.
That was not radio professional at all. Deron Bland being out. We've talked a lot about how the offense it feels like it's almost duct taped together right now. And the offensive line feels good, but everybody else, you're like one injury away or one holdout away or from just total disaster. And I've been saying it's okay though, because the defense feels like it can be better than it has been. And it's been solid. So if the defense is still strong, then, maybe they can make up for some of the shortcomings of the offense.
Well, what makes you think it won't be?
Well, I mean, they just lost arguably their best.
Well, keep in mind, Deron Bland got famous and good because he got the opportunity because the other dude was hurt. So we haven't had both a whole lot. You know what I mean? So this is a team that functioned with just one ball-hawking cornerback and some athletic safeties and get to the quarterback guys and Micah Parsons. That hasn't changed. It's just a different ball-hawking cornerback. I'm not that worried, to be real honest. Yeah, this kind of hurts, but it's not the most devastating of places for the Cowboys to suffer because they are deep enough at corner and defensive back to where I don't think it's going to be a massive detriment. I really don't.
Listed behind Bland on the depth chart are Kalen Carson and Eric Scott.
Yeah. They're going to have to hide them.
And now, mind you, Trayvon Diggs is healthy today.
Well,
like you said,
yeah,
Trayvon Diggs isn't always on the field.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's 100% ready yet. I mean, in the grand scheme, if you said pick the number one guy on your team, one of the top 5 players or 6 players to get down to lose over the first 6 to 8 weeks, I go, well, where am I deepest? Well, I got 2 cornerbacks. I got 2 of them. Now one's only at about 80% health, but he's coming back. He's an arrow up. Of all the other, I don't want to lose an offensive lineman. If you had to take one, to me, this is the one where you go, well, I can cover this up for 6 to 8 weeks. And it'll be nice. It'll be a nice bump to get back. Now, that's saying nothing else bad happens. Now we hope that nothing else happens, whether it's an edge rush problem, whether it is, in fact, one of these kids, we just can't cover him up, whether the cover 2 and the zones won't protect this guy. I'm not worried because I do know that Zimmer is an above average, if not very, very good defensive coordinator.
The good news is, I suppose, there's some schedule early on that's not the worst case for you to lose a piece of your pass defense. You're at Cleveland, and I don't know if they're going to be a good passing team or not. I don't know if their quarterback is good or not. And later on in the show, we can The Athletic released their tiers, their quarterback tiers that Mike Sando does every year, which is always a fascinating read to me. We can go over those in a little while, but Cleveland, the Saints, which, Derek Carr's the definition of an average quarterback. Lamar can be tough, but I think when you game plan for Lamar, you're worried about things more than his.
You're just keeping him in the pocket, man.
Yeah.
You're just trying to keep him hemmed in.
And then you've got the Giants and the Steelers,
so,
which
it could be worse. Now, this is not good.
No.
You know what I mean? This is really one of those things as Jerry is looking at it, and obviously this is going to be a weird 2 weeks as they round into form. And then you wonder what will be the point of fear or pain to finally get the deal done, other than CD's going to come in and play pissed all season because he's not gotten the extension if he does in fact show. This is not the best case, but again, not the worst either. I think that the Cowboys are looking at this like all gas, no brakes. We're full speed ahead because this thing's going to explode. We just hope it holds together for 4 months.
I don't know that. I mean, 6 weeks, I think, is just because when it says surgery.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to Garrett about this.
It's always like, well,
once you put a zipper on that, you start adding time.
Yeah, you can say it's 6 to 8 weeks, and that might be optimistic. But when it says it will require surgery, I'm like, that means even if it is 8 weeks, let's say it's the long end, 8 weeks, he's not going to come back and be like, especially for someone like a cornerback, who you don't know where you're going at the beginning of every play. It's a lot easier for a wide receiver to deal with a lower body injury than a cornerback, or at least to return from one, because the wide receiver in his head knows this is where I'm going every play. The cornerback has no idea, so he's got to make last minute decisions. It just feels like a tough injury to happen at this time of the year.
I will say that the way that the injury was discovered, that he was playing with it, it evidently happened in practice, and it just it wasn't a catastrophic thing. It wasn't like snap. So maybe they headed it off at the pass. Maybe the surgery, it was one of those things preemptive. We'll take care of it now, because it feels like that's part of the body that you will deal with if you don't get it fixed perfectly the first time for a long time.
Yeah.
So let's hope that's the case. I don't want to sound like I'm belittling the fact that they lost this stud cornerback that's worth how many interceptions did he have last year? I mean,
5, I think.
You think of the value to that's now not there. That's massive for a team that needs everything to work well.
Yeah. Again, the Cowboys, there's still a lot of questions on the roster. This is not a lot of teams have started to cut a lot of guys already. The Cowboys have not. In fact, the latest I saw today, there's been one cut made by the Cowboys, and it was Sheldrick Redwine, a defensive back, ironically. But it's time. You're gonna start seeing guys.
It's the deadline tomorrow.
Get cut.
Tomorrow, 4:00 our time, I think,
I
or
think
something
so.
like that. So we've got the next 24 hours. Going to be a busy day for the Turk.
And you got to remember also, a lot of these guys, people are going to get cut, and people are going to go, "Oh, I could use that guy. I could use that." And so maybe there's something. Maybe there's going to be someone out there that the Cowboys see on the pile that gets cut, and they go, "Yeah, maybe that guy could help me out."
Another D lineman, maybe.
That's a possibility. I guess that is a possibility.
We're up to 4 now, 3, 4. How many have we picked up?
I don't know. It's anybody on the defensive line. The Cowboys are interested in anyone who plays any kind of defensive line. If you play defensive line, they want you.
Looks like our favorite running back's gonna make the squad.
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn, at least according to Jerry Jones. If you believe Jerry, Deuce is on this team.
What's he called? Gadget Juice?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. Don't call me that, Jerry. Please don't call me that again, especially out loud. I don't want to hear that. But yeah, that is the latest. And Jerry also said, for what it's worth, I don't know if Jerry is the guy making the final 53-man cuts. I like to assume that there are, I don't want to say more football attuned people, because I know Jerry's been in football a long time, but more involved people with day-to-day football activity than with the business of it.
He's making the cuts, man.
You think?
He's the GM. Yes, he is. He knows. He has approved and looked at every player and cut. He is the general manager, and he acts like it. I mean, this isn't like, oh, give me the list and I'll approve the list that you're giving me. He's a GM. That's his gig. Now, Will McClay
says, like, hey, we need to keep this guy, and Jerry says, I don't like him.
No, I think that I'm not discounting what Will McClay has to do with all this, but Jerry, don't discount the fact that he's an owner acting and, plays GM when he wants to. Jerry's been at every practice. He's up in the tower like every GM. I think he knows exactly who he's keeping and who he's not, but that's certainly under the advice and he's just giving some consent from his guys. But no, I don't.
How much say does Mike McCarthy have, you think?
I would like to think as much as any head coach does.
Okay.
I'm not good. There's a lot of problems with the way Jerry handles things, but I think the internal mechanics of general manager coach relationship is probably pretty consistent. I don't think there's a whole lot different going on. Now, he has his own agenda as owner and general manager, but as far as the mechanics of how they're cutting and the talent that goes, I think Jerry's pretty well aware of all 100 guys in the camp and who all the 53 are going to be.
The 53-man roster deadline is Tuesday at 3:00 Central Time.
3 our time. Okay.
3 our time. Although this particular article says Tuesday, August 28th, which
that's
tomorrow is August 27th.
So next year. So we're going to find out next year.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, but I do think I've heard that it's on Tuesday, so I'm going to assume that
it's tomorrow 3:00.
Tomorrow 3:00. They'll go from, what are they at now? 90 something. Most teams are at 90 something. They'll be at 90 to 53.
I used to like the old school, the slow peel, the onion coming slowly apart.
I did too. And then like the last week of training camp or last preseason game was to decide who's going to make it, you or you.
And it looked like Beebe turned himself into a starter. I mean, was that the final
That's
performance?
The other assumption is that, Cooper Beebe is now going to be the starting center on this team. So good job in training camp by him. And you know what? Take a bow if you're the Cowboys, because the last couple years, it has felt like maybe the Cowboys drafting wasn't ideal.
Well,
And
just because you make the team doesn't mean you're an excellent football player. You know what I mean? But yeah.
But I'm just saying the fact that, I mean, you're probably going to have at least your first 3 picks are likely all starters. And now Marshawn Nealon is by, there was some attrition that led to him starting. There had to be an injury happen, but the idea that he's gonna be a key role player, Cooper Beebe is gonna be a key role player, and you know what? Now Kalen Carson may end up being a starter. I don't know that that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it looks like at least they've the guys that they've drafted, they knew were guys that they felt could contribute, and we're gonna find out right away.
If you're not gonna pay him, you better draft him.
Yep. All right. When we come back, we'll hear from Tre Lance. We'll see how he's feeling after that 5 interception game. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Fall Golf Classic is back. Monday, September 30th at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The San Antonio Sports is presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, sponsored in part by Jim Beam, PPL Motorhomes, Flight by England, Tomalitos Mexican Restaurant. The Fall Golf Classic happening Monday, September 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, you can upgrade your home with up to $1,500 off select appliances from top brands like Whirlpool. Enhance your kitchen with quality and convenience from Whirlpool, like the freestanding electric range with built-in air fryer and the tall tub dishwasher with third rack, all available at the Home Depot. Right now, shop Labor Day savings up to $1,500 off select appliances at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid August 22nd through September 11th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
After a total renovation of their greens, Olympia Hills invites you to their grand relaunch event the weekend of September 13th. Olympia Hills has renovated all 18 greens to enhance your golfing experience. Come and enjoy the dramatic elevation changes and a layout that's been strategically designed for your enjoyment. Follow on social media for updates and witness the transformation of your favorite course. Discover premier golfing in Bexar County with the grand relaunch the weekend of September 13th. Book your tee time now at OlympiaHillsGolf.com.
Nigel, why are you wearing a backpack? I'm going back to school. Folks, when your AC decides to flunk out or your home's plumbing is stuck in detention, you don't have to worry. At Quarter Moon Plumbing, AC, and Heating, our technicians are certified with all the latest technology and can fix any plumbing or AC issue fast and at a fair price because you deserve the A-plus service.
Gotta go, Joel. We're studying paper mache. I might have to pull an all-nighter.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number TACLA 885-898-M16004.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Reinagle from the Blitz. I cannot tell you how happy I am with my brand new Connecticut quality water softener. Had it in my house now for about 2 weeks, and the difference it is making is just unbelievable. You know, Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. Their products are made in America, and you live in San Antonio in South Texas, a water softener, it's a must, and Connecticut is the absolute best, up to 80% more efficient than competing models. Simple design, fewer moving parts, and in fact, you don't plug it in. No plug-in at all. It does not run on electricity. It only works when you need it to work. And right now, if you've been thinking about a Connecticut quality water softener in your home, Connecticut is going to let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. All you have to do is give them a call, 656-PURE, 656-7873, or ConnecticutSA.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. The Aggies take on the Notre Dame Leprechauns, presented by Ewald Kubota. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, AJ and Rob on a Monday. Happy Monday, boys and girls. What a weekend. What a weekend.
It was a good weekend. It's still summer. Let's not get past it, but it's feeling like everything other than the weather. It's feeling fallish. We got football. Everybody back in school.
I still got a little poison to get out of me from this weekend.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what weekends are for.
It's recovery. Recovery. You got to,
What happens in Louisiana stays in Louisiana.
Well, my money stayed in Louisiana. I can tell you that much. That friggin' stayed for sure. Let's hear from Tre Lance. Can
we make a vow to ourselves that what day are we going to stop talking about him? Can we just pick a day?
Once the regular season starts, for sure. We'll never have to talk about him. But I do think that because listen, how many passes in the regular, how many snaps got taken in the preseason that weren't Tre Lance? Was it 9, 10?
It was a series a game, however long those series last.
A series a game for the first two, 0 series in game
That's right.
3. So 2 series out of 3 football games, Tre Lance played every other snap.
Isn't that how it should be? I have no problem with how all of this went down.
Here's why it should be that way. Because you and I believed this from the beginning. I still believe it. There was never a competition of who was the number 2 quarterback.
No.
This whole thing was a tryout, for all intents and purposes. Like, do the Cowboys want to carry 3 quarterbacks is what it boiled down to. And it sounds like Jerry's determined that, yeah, we're going to carry 3.
Now, I will say this. There was never any doubt that they weren't going to keep him. And I think a lot of it is the embarrassment of going, man, we traded a 4th-round pick and we're going to cut this fool. But on the other side of this, I do believe in my heart of hearts that Jerry is going to keep Tre Lance around just in case that things go south about October, November. Team's not looking good. Doesn't look like that. Gives a crap. He's just about done. CD still hadn't showed up. Zeke's hurt. Defensive line's, in. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tre Lance as the Titanic sinks. He will be on one of those lifeboats. If that's the only way we'll ever hear from him again as a Dallas Cowboy. If he's playing, there has been utter catastrophe with the Cowboys.
Let me ask you this as a basketball guy. When you were a coach,
okay.
If your best player started out the game 0 of 6, you generally say, hey, keep your confidence, keep shooting, right?
Depending on how those 6 shots were taken. If they were taken appropriately, no good coach worth his salt ever jumps on a player for missing a shot.
Okay.
I will jump on you for improper prep. You didn't do the right things to take the shot. It's not the shot I'm mad at. It's you didn't go about it right. That would be the only thing I'd ever be upset with.
So for me, let's put it to the Golden State Warriors. If Steph Curry goes out and he misses his first 7 3-point shots, if I'm Steve Kerr, I'm saying, hey man, take that 8th one. You got
next 7 going in.
Green light.
Yeah.
If Klay Thompson, and we're talking prime Golden State Warriors.
No, I'm with you.
Klay Thompson misses his first 7 shots, you say, hey man, you keep your head up, it's all good. If Draymond misses 7 consecutive 3-point shots.
All of these are contextual things because what you're about to say, you've missed 7 threes. Draymond, stop shooting the 3. There's other things for you to be doing.
Yes.
But I would probably let him keep shooting them in the preseason. I'd probably go, you know what, dude? At some point, we might need this shot. So keep shooting them. I want you to see it go through. I'm not mad at you because this doesn't count. So context matters. And I do think, despite the 5 interceptions, I don't think that Tre Lance walked off the field upset that he threw a single ball where he threw them poorly. But I don't think he's going to look back and go, wow, I really wish I hadn't thrown that. I think he's going to go back and look, I wish I wasn't accurate here. I didn't have my right reads. I don't think there was the, oh my God, another throw. That never felt like that.
It's one of those things, and where I'm getting to is here. Tre Lance said we're going to hear him talk about his confidence here in a moment. But like, there was a time when I was covering the Rockets, I wanted James Harden to be less confident in his 3-point shot because it wasn't as good as he thought it was. Like he was convinced that he was Steph Curry, and he just wasn't. He was the highest volume shooter in the league, and like a league average 3-point. Like that's not good. Like if you are in the you're in that 50 percentile of quality, you don't want to be the top percentile of volume.
Right.
Well,
we're dealing with 2 different things here, but I get what you're saying. Like, dude, you're just never going to be that good at it. Stop it.
Well,
you're wasting your efforts. If you put your efforts elsewhere where you're good, it really would be better for you.
Or stop thinking that this is your bread and butter.
Right. I get it. But this, again, context. And you do want Tre Lance to be slinging it in preseason. I do want to take a risk.
Well,
see if we can thread the needle.
Tre was asked about his confidence despite the 5 picks.
Yeah, I think, my confidence isn't going anywhere. This sucks. This is, one I'm not going to forget about anytime soon, but it's part of it. You just got to flush it, turn the page, you'll be able to do that. Give me 12 hours and it'll be all good tomorrow. But yeah, these suck.
I'm going to make $5 million this year, and I'm not going to do squat for the next 5 months.
Now,
I'm going to run scout team.
He did feel like he was he didn't point the finger in this. Thank God. When you're a quarterback, you can't point the finger at other people. The coaches can do that for you. The coach can say, well, this interception was his fault. This one wasn't. But here's what he had to say about those 5 picks.
For all of them, I'd say. Anytime you throw an interception, I'm the one that makes the decision on where to go with the ball. So at the end of the day, whether it's regardless of the situation, I put this on myself.
Saying the right things, at least.
Well, over the years I have, you never know where the receiver was supposed to break, or you never know until you're actually in the film room. And I'm not going to say that. I think of the 5 interceptions, 3 of them were just bad, inaccurate throws. There's no getting around it. It was your skill. It wasn't, you read the play right, it looked like, and the guy, well, one of them anyway, or 2 of them appeared to be relatively open. They were just bad throws. We got to fix that. The deep one late, that's the one where that you want to sit down and talk with him. Like, dude, this was a poor decision. You missed him terribly. Other than that, man, I'm just not mad at him. I just, this is a 3rd string. Only thing I'm mad at, I said before, is he's here. Because he's not going to be here next year. And if you're not moving up as the 3rd string quarterback, you don't need to be here. If there's no plans or any ability to keep you next year, and there's not, at least by my best estimation, I don't know why he's here other than to save face.
Well, he was asked if he thinks he's proven enough to people that he can play in the NFL.
Yeah, that's for you guys to talk about and decide. Like I said, my confidence isn't going anywhere. I feel good. We did a lot of good things out there today. Super proud of the way the guys competed. With me, they had my back the whole day. Defense, offense, and everyone else not playing as well.
So it's up to us to decide if he can play.
And he's saying the right thing.
And you and I said during the break, or I guess before the show started, Tre Lance, after this season, Tre Lance isn't going to be an NFL player.
This is it.
Tre Lance is going to be playing in the XFL or UFL, whatever the hell it's called now. I don't know what they call it. UFL, that's right. That's where he's going to be going forward, and he'll probably be very successful there. And then maybe if he's successful enough, maybe he'll get another crack. But I mean, not only has he not played well, he just hasn't played enough reps. Also, like to even warrant someone saying, "Yeah, he can be our backup."
Well, we're getting to the point where he's had enough preseason reps. I mean, we've had that was a full start yesterday.
Yep.
And the other two games, but for a series, were full starts too. So that's 3 pretty full preseason games. Reps is going to continue to be the issue as far as, filing down and making things perfect. But I think we all know what kind of quarterback Tre Lance would be if he filed all the rough stuff down. We have a pretty good idea. We've seen enough reps.
Well, they asked him, hey, now that you're not going to be playing in real life football games anymore, how important are those practice reps to you going forward?
Practice reps, it's kind of the life of backup quarterback in the NFL. I mean, that's just the life that I've lived. Being able to talk to Coop about it and learn a ton from him last year as well, and guys I played with in the past as well. Just try to soak up as much as I possibly can and do whatever I can to help the team.
You are scout team QB.
Lance take going forward in his NFL career, like not preseason snaps, real regular season snaps? Will it be over under 20
in a regular season game?
Yeah,
I'm gonna snaps. Oh, he'll get more than that because he'll get some time at some point.
Oh, how about this? How about pass attempts? Because he might come in and take knees at the end of games. But how many pass attempts will Tre Lance have in his NFL career? Over under 20?
I don't think he's even going to get that. Because I think what we've run into here, AJ, is he's going to contractually, after these 5 years, he's due more than any team's going to want to pay him. As long as you're a third-string quarterback, you have to be an arrow-up guy. To be a second-string quarterback, we have to know exactly who you are and exactly what you're capable of. And we will never know that because you're never going to get any more opportunities.
Yeah. I think that's where I see him as, like, I don't know that he's got an up arrow. And he's not safe enough to be a backup quarterback, a number 2.
But can I interest you in a Brahmas uniform?
Yep, maybe so. Maybe so. We'll see what Wade Phillips thinks about that. All right. Yeah, well, Tre, yep, here's a Cowboy. I coach a Cowboy. Yeah. Good old boy. All right, we'll hear what Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy have to say about I don't think I care anymore about what they've got to say about Tre Lance, but there's plenty of other stuff that came out of the game this weekend that Jera and Coach Mack will want to discuss. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on the Blitz, we are back home from Las Vegas. What a trip that was. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that.
Maybe a little bit, but we will talk with the legend that is retiring, Bill Land, longtime voice of the Spurs. He'll join us at 3:35.
And Jeff Traylor will make his first visit at 5:15.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. and also some of the billing practices that our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. I got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff.
Oh, great. We have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight. We have cutters. And, hey, what the?
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationship with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say.
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
The Twin Liquors dollar sale is almost here. We dropped the price on all wine and spirits to the absolute lowest, then at $1. It's how we say thank you to our customers. Don't miss the dollar sale this Thursday through Saturday, only at Twin Liquors.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
St. Louis brought the world gooey butter cake. Now Bluebell brings us gooey butter cake ice cream. A cake batter ice cream with a luscious cream cheese swirl and gooey butter cake pieces. It's the gateway to the best in pints and half gallons.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Fisher's Market Stores and Shell at Cinnamon Creek.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
The northeast side is still cleaning up that accident, I-35 and northbound, and just after Evans Road, only one lane squeezing by. And traffic is stacked up pretty solid now from O'Connor. About a 30-minute delay, so definitely plan accordingly. And then on the far west side, a pocket of real heavy traffic, Highway 90 eastbound between Highway 211 and Hunt Lane. About a 30-minute delay through that stretch. Dan Miles, KTSA, time saver traffic.
The NFL is on. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're going to give away some Bush tickets. And I'm probably going to sing a song in the 8 o'clock hour.
You've been forewarned.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to sing yet. I got a couple Bush songs in my repertoire.
Oh, no.
You
earn them.
We got Machine Head. We got Glycerine is
That's
a big
the
hit.
only Bush song that comes to mind. What's the dude's name? Gavin
Rossdale.
Didn't he marry somebody famous?
Gwen Stefani.
That's right. Then she left him for a country boy.
I think he left her, and she picked up the pieces.
I didn't know.
With that fella on. I don't even know what his name is. He's a big, tall
Blake
country-
Shelton.
That's right, Blake Shelton. Which they're an odd pair. I don't know how I feel about it. Because like Gwen Stefani was so cool when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy is definitively not cool.
Well, in certain circles.
I don't even think country music people look at him and go, you know what, that guy's cool. I think there's country music guys that you can look at and go, they're cool.
I kind of like him.
You think he's cool though?
I think
or you like his music?
Well, I don't know about his music. I've seen him interviewed. And I don't watch The Voice, but I've seen enough of it where I kind of thought this cat's kind of all of them.
Okay. Well, maybe
Pretty-
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know him. I don't know. I think I might know his music when I hear it.
Yeah, I don't know I couldn't name a song.
I couldn't either, but we digress.
My favorite, you know what? I'm going to sing my favorite Bush song at 8 o'clock.
Glycerine, whatever that means. No,
Come Down is my favorite Bush song.
Already lost me.
No, you'll know it when I start singing it to you.
And they're at the
Freeman Coliseum.
An intimate show.
Edwin, tell me the day again where that's at, where that
September 4th.
September 4th.
That's coming up.
I hope I can go to that show. What day of the week does that fall on?
I believe a Wednesday.
Ooh, that's going to be tough for me.
Is that a Wednesday night? It is?
It's a Wednesday.
Tough for me. But maybe they'll, and you know what? I bet that's not an old person show.
Oh, it's an old person show.
You think everybody will stay in their seats or stand up?
It's a stand-up show because the venue.
That ain't an old person show then. Well, there's seats there though.
Yeah.
I bet I could find a seat and just sit in it and
They
vibe
should-
out.
Yeah, it would be fun. I think it'd be a good show. I
think so,
guess.
too.
It's a very distinctive time of music, mid-90s.
And you said Jerry Cantrell is playing with them. Is that
Didn't he Candlebox?
well, I know Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains. I don't know I don't know if they said Jerry Cantrell and Candlebox.
Jerry Cantrell, Candlebox, and Bones.
Oh, there we go.
So Jerry Cantrell is not playing, he's not singing for Candlebox or playing for Candlebox. He's
separate and
Separate.
Candle. No,
It just says Jerry Cantrell, Candlebox, and Bones are loaded at the Greatest Hits tour.
Bones? I've never heard of Bones.
So I think he's playing Candlebox songs because Jerry's from here. He lives here in San Antonio.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Maybe he lives in Houston. I know that he's been here enough to feel very comfortable around here.
Well, I know he's generally a Washington type, like all those Alice in Chains folks.
No, he's leading. He's leading Candlebox.
He's the
It's
singer
Jerry
of
Cantrell
Candlebox now?
and Candlebox.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
It's like Jimi Hendrix and The Experience.
What a great band
Stevie
Alice
Ray
in Chains was.
And Double Trouble.
I love Alice
Very
in Chains.
specific time of
Yeah.
music.
It's rare that a lead singer, so Gavin Rossdale, God bless him, it's rare that a lead singer from that era is still alive because they all either OD'd or killed themselves, or both in some cases. But yeah, so Bush with Gavin Rossdale.
You know, you've almost talked me into this.
I'm excited about that. The lead singer from Alice in Chains, he died like,
yeah,
I mean, we're talking like 2002.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what Jerry Cantrell's been up to since then. But you know, you got when you're a rock and roller, you got to move on. Candlebox it is. I didn't. What happened to Candlebox's guitar player? Or does he sing for Candlebox?
Yes, it's Jerry Cantrell. He's singing. It's like Stevie Ray and Double Trouble, and
he was a git fiddler for Alice in Chains because Lane Staley was the singer.
It's him. He's the
okay.
singer.
All right. Well, I might be interested in this.
Yeah.
I might be interested in this. Either way, you'll hear me singing a Bush song coming up in the next hour, and we'll give away those tickets one way or the other. I don't know how yet. Maybe it'll be Bush trivia. Do you like your Bush, like, are they going to be well groomed, do you think, or do you think they're still all shaggy, old school?
It's
Bush?
90s. I imagine there's.
You think they're bald?
No. Well, these are the grunge dudes, man.
Because 90s, 2000 Bush, like, bald was in.
But early 90s? When mid 90s when
Mid to
Bush
late
first
90s, yeah,
Bush hit
bald.
about 95, 94.
Yeah, that's about right.
I think I don't think we'd reach the well coiffed
So you
era
don't,
yet.
You don't think
Now he might have adjusted, as
Yeah.
many of us have. Over
I'm
the years.
asking, do you think now Bush will be waxed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think there's an age limit where you're like,
And I hope.
what's the point?
I hope they're not too shaggy.
Well, I don't care. It's
Really?
not anything I'll ever come across.
Yeah.
But for those that do have to deal with it, I guess it's a personal decision.
Yeah, it'd be too much for me. But you know what? We'll see how they look. I don't know.
It's all of an era.
I bet they're all looking pretty good.
Gavin looks
Pretty
okay.
good. I bet. Oh, he was super handsome in an era where ugly rock stars were the norm.
Yeah, and he still looks good.
Gavin Rossdale was a handsome fella. Jerry,
Another guy who has worked very hard to look good over the years.
I think
Spent a lot of money.
Jerry is well coiffed.
We spent a lot of money. There's been some. He's got a plastic surgeon on speed dial. He's got one. He has one in the business.
I don't believe that. I think that's all natural.
Oh yeah,
all natural. They asked Jerry, "What do you think about the?" They asked him about the cornerback situation, which was what I was interested in from Jerry. Here's what he had to say about outside help at the cornerback spot.
Not at all. Not in any way. No, not at all. We've got, that's the good news is that we've got some guys that have really shown well in camp. We won't be looking at all.
And the guy that he's probably talking about the most is Kalen Carson. They asked him about Kalen as well.
I like the fact that he's playing at the level he is for how long a time, which is not much in the NFL. And he certainly is going to get a great opportunity to fill in here. We've had a couple of guys come in here and do pretty well the last 3 or 4 years at rookie cornerback, so maybe he'll make All-Pro.
Maybe he'll make All-Pro.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if, we brag on the Cowboys' ability to judge lineman flesh. I mean, they just, whoever the scouts are, they can pick them out. Whoever they bring in, they're about 90% hit rate. And we're starting to feel that way on cornerback because Deron Bland wasn't supposed to be that guy. He was just a dude. He wasn't Trayvon Diggs when he was drafted. Deron Bland was just a guy that they hoped. And they found it. And I think Jerry's starting to believe that we can just roll one dude after another. I don't know. We'll find out if it's true. I think that's puffery from Jerry. Absolutely no concern at all. None. Nil. I'm not upset that I'm losing a defensive almost MVP candidate. I don't care that the guy that carried us into the playoffs last year with key and most important interceptions of the season, minus our high draft pick that I had just paid. I'm not even going to miss a minute of sleep.
Because
come on, man.
We've had a 5th round pick turn into an All-Pro before, so
Well,
Kalen Carson's a 5th rounder. I bet he's an All-Pro.
That is the oil man. That is Jerry searching for that next glory hole.
Good for him. Good for him. James says Lane Staley died in the mid-90s, bro. That is factually incorrect. I promise you that.
I'm going to trust you on that.
He certainly died well after the. I guessed 2002. I know it wasn't the 90s though.
Lane Staley death.
April 5th, 2002. Yeah. That heroin, you could barely get good heroin good enough to kill you in the late 90s. It's by the time 2000s came around, that black tar was strong, powerful stuff.
I thought that was flannel poisoning that everybody died of.
No.
Heavy flannel caused them to overheat.
No, I think it was all heroin. Pretty much all those guys heroin.
Patchouli stink.
Yeah. It could have been some of that too. That's that Pacific Northwest vibe. Heroin and patchouli.
Dip yourself in a patchouli oil and go get strung out.
Yeah.
Make some good music.
That heroin, it's got to be
that heroin.
You know,
it must be some bad stuff.
if it would stop killing people, I'd be
Tell you
real
what,
interested
over
in it
all
because,
those years, we'd think we'd figure that stuff out.
yeah, if only there was a way to know how much heroin is okay. Because it seems like it
I
just
think it's
feels
zero.
real good.
I'm going to go with the 0.
A lot of people seem to like it.
Well,
but
I don't know of a single living happy heroin user. I don't know any, but
I
the
think
ones
they're
that I've
happy.
come across in my long, illustrious
I
life,
think they're happy
they weren't happy
when they're using.
No.
Actually, I think the whole point is you're not happy and you just want to get away from real life.
I think it's just about being numb is very different from being happy.
I have become comfortably numb. In the
I
words
believe that was actually sung about things just as such as that.
I think you might be right. And finally, they asked Jerry about the young bucks. How you feeling about how these childrens are playing?
I really like the way that our young players,
You think?
several of them at different different areas of the team, both sides of the ball, that probably should have played more last year. And we just had veterans that were getting that play time. Now then, we've got those guys that are now coming in here, and I really like the camp that they had. You add those to the fact that we're getting some rookies that probably are ahead of what our expectations could have been. And so we've really done what you have to do in this league, and that is bring young players on and use them and play them, and that's what we're doing.
Jerry,
That was the plan. That is the plan.
That was the plan all along. Everything's going according to plan.
I wonder who he's talking about that should have played more last year. When he said that, that kind of piqued my interest. Who is getting minutes and reps this year
who was blocked last
that
year?
for some reason was not getting them last year?
Because the two new offensive linemen last year shouldn't have played.
The first guy I thought of was Hoffman, but he lost. He's not even going to be the starter, although the current official depth chart still has him as starter behind, or with BB behind him. But is he the guy that probably should have been playing more last year? Is it? I'm trying to figure out who did he think should have been in that wasn't in that we had last year that we have now. Is it?
I can't think of anybody.
One of the Jalen's? I mean, Rico? I mean, who are we talking about?
Yeah, that's a good question. I can't think of anybody who was really like blocked last year by someone that's gone now.
And I'm not going to quibble with the starting lineup there. The 22, the 24, if we're going to pick, or 25, I guess, with Holder and whatnot. I would stack those starters against the top 10 teams in the league. They're as ready to get into the season as any other team. Every team's got holes, more so this year than I think in a long time. But depth is going to be the issue here. I mean, there's no question about it that the all-in meant, we're not going to be adding depth, and I'm not going to pay a whole lot of money to any of my stars. That's the all-in.
I guess he could be talking about Mozzie and Overshown.
Well, right? Overshown due to injury, Mozzie due to inability. I mean, and Overshown's not all that active now.
I'm not really sure who else he could be talking about, to be honest. Because it feels like a lot of it's the same. The Jalen's, you're right, because Gallup was here.
Maybe it was one of the Jalen's, and I do think he might be talking about his center, who maybe if he'd have gotten a start, might not have been needing to go get BB if they'd have known he was going to be that good. Maybe that's what he's thinking. I couldn't pinpoint exactly what he was kind of intimating, but he's trying to he's puffing up his team. He is the general manager. He's not going to say anything negative now. This is the team with prior to cuts that Jerry has put together. That at the end of the day, this is his artwork. He's the one that signs. He's the one that writes the checks. He's the general manager that approves for these guys even to show up to camp. So I don't expect him to say anything negative. But at the end of the day, whatever shows up on day one, whether CD's out there or not, this is all Jerry's manufacture. This was all up to him. He wasn't left high and dry by anybody. He knew exactly what it was going to take to bring in everybody, and he has, up to this point, chosen not to do it.
All right. When we come back, take a little break from the Cowboys sound. We will hear from Mike McCarthy later on in the program. I want to get to these the Mike Sando tiers, the Athletics quarterback rankings list, see where you agree, where you disagree. I know Edwin disagrees big time. He's pissed.
Baker's way too low.
He's furious right now. All that and more coming up. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding the work with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. I'm one of 5 million active members. I play every day because you know why? It's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports because I get to use my knowledge and apply it to win some serious money. And as a player, they invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if your pick don't hit. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with just as simple 4 correct picks. It is that easy to play. You can have fun. It's simple. It's a great playing experience, and you can use your knowledge. How well is Tyreek Hill going to do this week? How is Dak Prescott going to play? If you know, you go play. It's Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code Alamo and get $50 instantly when you play. That's code Alamo on Prize Picks. You get $50 instantly when you play just 5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Attention Roadrunner fans, get ready for an electrifying season of UTSA football. Season tickets are on sale now, starting at just $90. That's right, for only $90 you can catch all the action, all the touchdowns, and all the excitement at family. Bring your friends and join the fun as we cheer on our UTSA Roadrunners to victory. Don't miss out on the best deal in town. Get your season tickets today and be a part of the Roadrunner family. Visit GoUTSA.com to secure your seats now. UTSA football, it's more than a game, it's an experience. Go Runners!
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyer4us.com.
You've heard me talk about GiveMeTheVin.com for years, but wait till you hear what our customer said about GiveMeTheVin.com buyer Garrett.
Garrett has been beyond phenomenal to work with. And I have to say, it's been refreshing working with somebody that actually cares about people. He's made this entire process easy. They are a very professional company. If I ever need anything in the future, I definitely will be using this business simply for the fact of how incredible the customer service is.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
How about them Cowboys? Jim Beam bringing fans together across Cowboys country. We rise as one in Texas in handed down silver and blue jerseys. We come together for America's team every time they take the field. So let's share a round of Jim Beam highballs on game day in Cowboys country. 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2024 James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
St. Louis brought the world gooey butter cake. Now Bluebell brings us gooey butter cake ice cream. A cake batter ice cream with a luscious cream cheese swirl and gooey butter cake pieces. It's the gateway to the best in pints and half gallons.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Fisher's Market Stores and Shell at Cinnamon Creek.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
On the northeast side, the headache continues. I-35 northbound at Evans Road. Only one lane squeezing by due to this accident. Traffic is stacked up from O'Connor. About a 20-minute delay. Also, far west side, real sluggish traffic. Highway 90 eastbound between Highway 211 and Hunt Lane. About a 30-minute delay through that stretch, so definitely plan accordingly. I'm Dan Miles, KTSA. Time saver traffic.
San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio Sports Center.
The Bernie Little League fell just short over the weekend, falling in the U.S. Championship to the Southeast team 10-7. In the NFL, Dallas Cowboys fell 26-19 in their final preseason game to the Chargers. Tre Lance threw for 323 yards and a touchdown. But 5 interceptions in the loss. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. 8 o'clock, Rob. It's the hump day of Monday. It's the hump hour
of the early start talking hump day.
Hump hour.
I don't know how this week's going to go because we're so close to greatness. We're so close.
I see you. Great
well
job.
Done. That was professional level
well
radio
done.
right there.
Man, Edwin is learning. He's picking it up quick. That's how it's done. All you radio producers out there, what you just heard, that is how you fade out of an intro song.
See, my favorite people in the world who only make a mistake once.
Yeah.
I mean, you're allowed to make a mistake, but as soon as it happens, you go, oh, won't do that again.
Don't make the same mistake.
Don't make it twice. You do it twice, then we start having issues. First one, man, it's easy.
Good stuff, Edwin. Good stuff. I got to give away Bush tickets.
Oh, no.
Should I sing now or later?
I'm going to leave that to you, my brother.
No one knows, never will. Mostly me, but mostly you. Do you say, do you do? When it all comes down, I don't want to come back down from this cloud.
Quickly.
It's taking me all this time to find out what I need. Yeah.
Four. Keep singing.
Let's do caller 5.
Oh, we got to keep singing. We racked up? Oh, it's too late.
Caller 5, you're going to go see Bush and Jerry Cantrell and Candlebox and Bones.
For all of you that were quick on the dial.
On Wednesday.
You saved.
If I have more tickets tomorrow, I'll sing a different song and I'll give them away on the Brigade
Was
Bar.
that Glycerine?
No, that's Come Down.
Oh.
Because I don't want to come back down from this cloud.
See, I thought that was Glycerine.
It's taking me all this time.
Yikes.
Come on, hater.
No, I'm just, wow. There's a lot. It's a wall of sound that just collapsed on me.
Man, I feel good now.
You should. You let it all go.
Feel good. Got some of that. I told you I got to get some poison out.
Let it out.
Now it's out. So caller 5, you'll be enjoying Bush. I don't know how, again, we don't know the status of their grooming. Bush's grooming.
I'm sure we'll find out.
Or the box for that matter, Candlebox.
I'm going to go with the on that one.
Non-groomed.
I think there's an age at which you go. If you're doing that, I mean, at 65, seriously? I mean, Candlebox.
Yeah, they're not that old. you know, it threw me. I thought Candlebox was a one-hit wonder for a long time, and then apparently they have another song, and someone played it for me. And I was like, oh yeah, that is them.
Yeah,
huh?
they've been floating. I had lost contact with them until Minix is a huge fan of Candlebox, as is not surprising.
A huge fan of Candlebox.
What's his name? They're Cantrell. He and Cantrell have evidently become buddies.
They're boys.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how I met him a couple years ago.
Really?
It was down at Sam's.
I used to do heroin with Jerry Cantrell.
I did it. Well, I first met him in Nam. We were in a foxhole together. I pulled him out, gave him some ideas for some lyrics, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah, most of the songs he wrote are
all
about
about me.
Mike Sando, every year, he talks to NFL coaches and executives, and they privately give their thoughts on quarterbacks.
I love these things. Although,
I do too.
If you okay, well, let's go with it.
So this isn't just one man's opinion.
No, but
this
I wonder how much it really is, because it is all anonymous.
Yeah.
So I'm not, and
Which
I'm not questioning ethics at all. I'm not going there. But, when it's an entirely anonymous survey and no one can be counted on to come back and say, well, yeah, I said that. I don't think that, in my heart of hearts, I don't believe Mahomes is that good. No one's going to come out and admit that, whether they said it behind the scenes or not. So whenever I see that, I go, how much of the writers' ideas about this played a role? And I don't think it did, judging by, I don't think some of these placements you would do unless somebody actually told you.
That's kind of the way I feel. Because they basically, all these guys give a ranking, and he uses that and places them into tiers. And the biggest movers and biggest fallers is always interesting. See arrow up quarterbacks.
Well, the usual suspects. Do you want me to use? Is it like Mahomes?
No. I'm saying where they were last year to where they are now. Who do you think's jumped the most?
I'd say Stroud has certainly come up a long way.
Well, Stroud wasn't listed last year, but he's into tier 2 already. So this is he took. They don't put year 1 guys in the tiering.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Stroud is obviously a big jumper. But guys who had played before, and
Jordan Love probably made a jump.
Jordan Love is tied for the biggest jumper.
Kyler maybe come up a little bit with new coach.
No, Kyler actually dropped down a little. He didn't play much last year. Remember?
I'll give you Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson up moderately.
Okay,
but the tied with Jordan Love for the biggest jumper is Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy went to a Super Bowl last year.
High expectations for him last year too.
Baker Mayfield jumped pretty significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Stafford and Jared Goff also got some nice jumps.
So I thought Stafford was beyond raising. I thought we kind of knew. But
Stafford, remember, people had kind of started to think that Stafford was done.
You're right. And I probably was in that boat, but I certainly feel like he's of the Mahomes level now, that anything that happens probably isn't going to be his fault. I'm not going to blame him for interceptions like Mahomes or things that happen badly probably didn't happen because of him.
The biggest droppers from last year to this year.
Oh man. Aaron Rodgers probably fell a long way.
Aaron Rodgers did fall, but not as far as, although this is the first year since they've been doing this list that Aaron wasn't in the top tier.
Where's Dak in this? Because he was MVP of the caliber anyway.
He's up 1 ranking spot from last year, so basically neutral.
Do you think if he'd have gotten a contract, he'd have gone up more?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I'm curious. Where's Russell on this?
Russell is the 3rd biggest dropper, tied for 3rd. The biggest droppers, Trevor Lawrence dropped 7 spots from last year.
After he got paid.
Deshaun Watson dropped 6 spots.
Well, that's about right.
Russ and Derek Carr both dropped 5.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts dropped 4.
Oh, all right. That's a surprise.
And Daniel Jones, Kyler Murray, and Aaron Rodgers all dropped 3.
So Hurts down 4.
Yeah. So the tiers are as follows. And he lists he says a tier 1 quarterback can carry his team each week. The team wins because of him. He expertly handles pure passing situation and has no real holes in his game. There are 3 guys listed in tier 1. Patrick Mahomes, in a shocking development, is still number 1 overall. Joe Burrow is in tier 1, same as last year. Josh Allen is in tier 1, same as last year.
I have no problem with this.
That is tier 1.
In my mind, and they are far away from everybody else.
There are 2 gentlemen who dropped out of tier 1 last year. There were 5 in tier 1 last year. Aaron Rodgers is one of those that dropped. Justin Herbert, one of those that dropped out of tier 1. And I think you can justify both of those.
Yeah, but I think Herbert, there's always reasons and excuses depending on how you want to view him. And I think Herbert has some reasons.
Okay.
Kellen Moore.
I love Justin Herbert, but it's getting harder and harder to justify
Coaching
defending him.
Staff, all the things of being in a rather transient team. I expect a bounce back because Harbaugh, at the very least, ain't going to make him do any more than he's capable of. I'm comfortable there.
A tier 2 quarterback can carry his team sometimes, but not as consistently. He can handle pure passing situations in doses and or possesses other dimensions that are special enough to elevate him above tier 3. He has a hole or 2 in his game.
The Lamar Jackson quotient.
Lamar Jackson is the top of tier 2. He is the number 4 ranked quarterback on this list, top of tier 2. Mind you, this is a multiple-time MVP and is tier 2.
But, at some point, you got to blame output. At some point, your team has to take a step or 2, or you can't be considered that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he's perfectly situated as the best second tier.
Although you can make the same arguments about Josh Allen.
Yeah. But the difference being, I think Lamar Jackson, they keep trying to find some things to help him because they feel like there's a hole.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen, they're starting to realize we're probably spending too much on things that we felt like were helping him when we didn't need to.
Yeah.
So I think that the ideas of the kind of quarterbacks they are being they've gone from blur to a little bit more of a precise idea of who they are.
Tied for 5th on this list, Justin Herbert and Matt Stafford.
You just talked about Herbert.
Yeah.
Stafford is the most, he and Mahomes, in my mind, are the 2 quarterbacks I trust the most in the NFL. Those 2 dudes, in my mind right now, are the ones that they're not going to lose the game, no matter what. Stafford, there was a time when I felt like he would. Now, I don't think that's in him anymore. I think he might not be able to do as much as Mahomes to win a game, but Stafford, I trust just about as implicitly as anybody else in the league. Make the throws that are appropriate.
All right. When we come back, we're going to finish up this list, but the next 3 guys are all of great interest, I think, to the audience. And one of them, the way the votes shook out on this guy is fascinating because it's a guy that Rob and I have differing opinions on. And it appears that a lot of these coaches and GMs also have wildly differing opinions on this guy. We'll talk about that next. Find out where Dak is, too. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on the Blitz, we are back home from Las Vegas. What a trip that was. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that.
Maybe a little bit, but we will talk with the legend that is retiring, Bill Land, a longtime voice of the Spurs. He'll join us at 3:35.
And Jeff Traylor will make his first visit at 5:15.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Play ball! Missions Baseball returns Tuesday night at Wolf Stadium. Join us for AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch is at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
Jane, I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
Or being a dog person and a cat person.
Who wants a treat? Who's a good boy?
Or like being an extrovert and an introvert.
Woo! This is so fun! I can't wait to go home.
At T-Mobile, you don't have to choose. You can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how much you can save with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, when you switch, you can keep your phone, and we'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device, credit, service, and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
At Frost, some of our services sound too good to be true. Like the largest ATM network in Texas. Early payday, so direct deposits made to personal checking accounts are available up to 2 days earlier. Having a real live banker to talk to 24/7. Or that time a Frost banker gave a San Antonio restaurant her personal debit card number after a customer's card was mistakenly declined at his business dinner. True story. Frost, exactly what you unexpected.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep. Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever, just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Claymore says Josh Allen's overrated. Hunt's been waiting for him to live up to the triple OT game against the Chiefs 3 years ago. I don't know, man. Josh is careless with the ball sometimes, but I think a lot of it is a matter of what's around him. Josh Allen is the only guy in the NFL who has finished top 5 in QBR both of the last 2 seasons.
I don't know how you quantify what he's not overrated. I don't know by what measure other than, yeah, he doesn't have a Super Bowl win, but neither does the other guy other than Mahomes in there, you know?
Yeah.
I think when you draw up what a quarterback should do in every sense, some of it is risk taking. Some of it is dare to do something that the second tier guys can't.
Yeah.
You're one of the guys that can. It doesn't always work, but you've reached a level to where I trust the fact that you're going to go do it. You're going to make the right throw. And if it doesn't work out that time, I'm never going to tell you not to. When there's some second tier quarterbacks, maybe not second, but third tier, that there are quarterbacks that are starting the NFL that are legitimate Super Bowl caliber, that there are throws that I'm never going to let him make, ever. You're never going to be put in that situation because I know the chances are not as strong as some other guys out there. So Josh Allen checks every box. He hadn't won a Super Bowl, but we're kind of in a Jordan era here. I'm not going to hold that explicitly against him like I would have 30 years ago prior to Brady when they were dealing with that.
And then he says Justin Herbert is an actor playing QB, looks the part but can't deliver when it counts.
Down.
Claymore, through 4 years, Justin Herbert is statistically the greatest quarterback who's ever played. Like no quarterback has put up the numbers in their first 4 years that Justin Herbert has, which I don't know if that, I mean, he's a hell of an actor if he's acting.
Yeah, I'm not going to make perfect is the worst enemy of great. I mean, I'm not going to go there because Pat Mahomes ain't perfect.
No, he's close. Well, he ain't perfect. All right, as we continue down this tier list, 7th on the list is Aaron Rodgers. It's the first time they've done this 11 years. They've done this list. This is the first time he's been in tier 2.
And why? What is the other than age? Did he do anything in the last 2 years where you go, well, it's gone?
Well, remember 2 years ago was the worst statistical season he'd had in a long time.
Even that was still pretty good.
It was still pretty good. And then last year,
we don't know.
You got an Achilles. He's old. But here's the deal. Only Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen got more tier 1 votes than Rodgers. He got 23. But he got 7 votes in tier 3, 2 votes in tier 4. So
where would you put him?
I think I would have put him in tier 3. Because I believe that he has, I think he's done. But one coach, an offensive coach who placed Rodgers in tier 1 said, maybe he falls off. I just know the last time I saw him play, he can carry it. I'm going off that.
That's me.
Now, the one guy says we're the guys that did not put Rodgers in tier 1 from the 29 teams whose offenses would be better with him instead of their current QBs. So there are some people who those guys are team Rodgers. Then you go back and watch those first 4 plays before he got hurt. He didn't look good then. He looks old. And
4 plays.
If they can't protect him and they can't run the football, it'll be just what you saw late stages in Green Bay. He became ineffective. I'm looking at what he is, not who he was.
Are we going to hold a bad offensive line against him?
Well, I think when you're 41.
Well, no, I think I hold it against the team. I hold it against Saleh. I hold it against, the GM. But no, I hold it against the quarterback. I mean, obviously output matters, and he's going to have to survive no matter what's in front of him. And that's the difference between tier 1 and tier 2, right? Tier 1 is you can carry me, whatever. Tier 2 is you need some help, but you can still make the throws. I think that's an appropriate thing here. My biggest worry about Aaron Rodgers isn't his arm, even his mobility. It is his offensive line. If his line can hold a block, Aaron will drop dimes. He will throw the appropriate passes. I have no doubt in my mind. But if he's under duress and having to run, he's going to have a tough year.
A voter whose team practiced against the Jets last summer. I bet we could figure out who this was. He said he thought Rodgers appeared, quote, fragile and might not last 5 games this season.
Oh, that's a worry.
The Achilles injury and Rodgers' age, turning 41 in December, create uncertainty for him.
By the time Brady was done if you got within 4 feet of him, they were blowing the whistle.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if Aaron will get the same respect, but the league obviously knew that it's better for Brady to be upright and playing than down hurt in another storyline. So I think that there might be some protection. But
also, Brady was durable.
No, you're right. And up until the Achilles, so was Aaron. But we just expect
I just tell everybody, dude, if you think, oh, well, look how long Brady played, Brady's the exception to the rule. Brady took so much care of his body late into his career to the extent, like, Aaron Rodgers, remember, Aaron Rodgers is going on retreats to do illicit drugs instead of playing at training camp. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are not the same dude.
They're not, but I will say that techniques and things, a sum total of the 20 years in the league has just allowed guys to play longer if they want to. I mean, physically, they can just do it now before. Now, Brady is an absolute, out-of-the-box, different kind of cat. But Aaron Rodgers ain't that far away.
Number 8 on the list is C.J. Stroud. First time on the tiers.
That's amazing to me.
It's incredible.
And he deserves it. He deserves it.
Number 9 is Dak Prescott.
Probably an appropriate place. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a down arrow. I mean, he had a near MVP caliber year, and C.J. Stroud is still in front of him.
Prescott matched his career best for average vote, 2.1, and ranking 9th. So this is tied as the highest he's ever been on this list. He made a 5th consecutive appearance in tier 2. One offensive play caller said Dak can roll out of bed and throw for 450.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. It's just those moments in the playoffs against the Niners or Packers where if you want to be tier one of those times you have to put that team on your back and will your team to a win.
Whoever that is, man, we are of like mind. You just defined Dak Prescott.
Prescott's 5 career games with 450-plus yards are tied with Drew Brees for second most in NFL history behind Ben Roethlisberger's 8. Dan Marino, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning are next with 4 apiece. That's pretty good company you're with. Those are all current or future Hall of Famers. But it says of those quarterbacks, Prescott is the only one to have never reached a conference championship game.
Yep.
A defensive coordinator said, I've always given Dak a 2. When I did it this year, I gave him a 3. He proves year in and year out that he cannot get it done in the postseason. At the other extreme, an executive from one of the Cowboys' division rivals gave Prescott tier 1. He said without him, they would be a very average or marginal team.
We have gone back into what defines the current Dallas Cowboy era.
And then finally, one guy, a defensive coordinator, said Dak is probably the definition of a 2. There are some holes. He's not perfect, but he's about as steady of a 2 as you can be.
Truth. That's it.
I think it's a very fair placement for Dak.
I wouldn't put him higher. I wouldn't put him lower. Retained tier. Yes, I'm in. Sadly, I think we've reached the apex of Dak Prescott. I don't think what we saw last year can be improved upon.
And wildly, someone is going to pay him
more
money than anybody's ever made in the NFL for someone who you just said is likely going to start rolling downhill at this point.
I think this is it. And there's nothing wrong with what this is. I mean, we're nearly to the top of Everest. He is up there with the top 10 of all time in a lot of categories.
10th on the list is Jared Goff, who moved up a tier from last season.
See, that's surprising to me.
That he's 10th?
I look at Jared Goff a lot like Dak Prescott, but older. I don't know why, because they're essentially the same age. I felt like Jared Goff had plateaued last year, that we had seen the most of Jared Goff, and anything else would be give him some more because that team got better. So why not?
I'm not a big believer in Jared Goff. I'm also not a big believer in number 11, Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts was buoyed by some really good offensive coaching. And one guy said one coordinator said he would be a tier 3 lock without the tush push.
Well, let's talk about what he can do.
If they can't run the ball, Hurts is not effective. He can't handle pure pass. When he got hurt and became immobile and they had to throw the ball, he showed what he was. I think they might have paid a guy that they're going to have a really good team around him to win any kind of games.
It sounds like I would bet that was actually Howie.
Might have been.
Because what other quarterback has the weapons that he has? I want you to go up and down the weapons.
That's incredible.
That he has offensively. No quarterback has more to play with than Jalen Hurts.
No, you're right.
From tight end to wide receivers to
offensive
running back,
line.
Offensive line, if they can, there is no quarterback in a better position to be absolutely successful than Jalen. I mean, they have spent 3 years, and they keep adding more.
One defensive coordinator said, the word is out there. If you run 0 blitz against Hurts or show 0 and back everyone out, he will panic. That has to change. They lose Jason Kelsey, who handled the protections, basically did everything, and you bring in a coordinator who likes to drop back, it will be interesting. Because Kellen Moore is a pass-first coordinator, and I don't think Jalen Hurts should be a pass-first quarterback. And I think that might be a bad match, which is the only reason I still have confidence in the Cowboys in the division, is because I just don't think the Eagles are offensively, despite all the weapons. I think that quarterback is obviously so important, and I don't trust him.
I will say this. If he has of the same skill set that Dak was way back when, and I think he's probably a little bit further progressed than the first year Kellen Moore was Dak's offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore was a master, at least with Dak early on, of disguising and hiding what Dak wasn't good at yet. He was a less than accurate thrower, and he really probably wasn't as comfortable in the pocket as he should have been. And the 0 blitz probably scared the crap out of Dak back then too. Kellen Moore's not the best at a lot of things, but he's really good at this.
Yeah,
of hiding a quarterback's issues and putting him in a situation to be successful.
Well, they got a running back that should help. Like,
and-
if they become a run-heavy team again, then yeah, I could see that working out. But last year, I think they tried to pass too much, and it was a disaster.
I think that this could be one of those crazy pivotal years for Jalen. If it goes south, I can't see how they're going to be able to hold on to him. We're going to start running into a Dak situation with him.
Wrapping up tier 2 is number 12, Brock Purdy, number 13, Kirk Cousins, number 14, Jordan Love.
Project, okay, 14. He already jumped. I mean, you said
2 tiers.
Who will be in next year's tier 1? Do you think Purdy can, if he has the kind of year that he had last year and the year before, do you think they will elevate him all the way to a tier 1?
No.
Is there anybody in this second tier that you can see still has a rising, other than Stroud?
Lamar could be tier 1.
Even after everything, I'm not sure he's ever going to get tier 1 again.
Maybe not. Justin Herbert can be tier 1.
There you go. Herbert and Stroud.
Stroud are the 2
most likely candidates.
And maybe Jordan Love. I don't know, and the reason why I say yes to Jordan Love and no to Purdy is because I think sometimes these guys look at just physical tools, like, can you carry me? And whatever Brock Purdy does this year, he's probably going to be the 3rd or 4th best player on his offense.
And he has as many weapons as Hurts. I don't want to discount, what he's playing with. But as far as, I think San Francisco, the talent was put together, and then the quarterback matched the talent. In Philadelphia, they have done everything they can do to justify the payment to their quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, they've kept chasing talent, where Brock Purdy is the recipient of talent that had been acquired, in my mind. They went and got McCaffrey because they could. They didn't go get him because, well, crap, we're going to be starting Brock Purdy. I mean, and they already had Debo, and they had already drafted Ayuk. I think that he fell into a great situation where one was absolutely constructed for Jalen Hurts.
So that's the top 14 guys, 3 tier 1s, 11 tier 2s. Is there anybody who jumps out to you that hasn't been listed yet?
Kyler needs to be in there. That's the guy that needs to be in this mix. And then Kirk Cousins, I don't know what he's surprised that he's not there, because, Kirk is now Baker Mayfield without the bad rep. I mean, that's who they are. They're seasoned professionals who aren't going to lose too many games for you.
Well, the guy at the top of tier 3 is a guy that I'm not a pure believer in, and it makes me feel good that a lot of these coaches and GMs think it's a little bit false hope too. We'll talk about that on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1. We'll go to break now.
San Antonio's Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Fall Golf Classic is back. Monday, September 30th at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Fall Golf Classic, benefiting San Antonio sports, is presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chung Plus, sponsored in part by Jim Beam, PPL Motorhomes, Slide by Yingling, Tomalitos Mexican Restaurant. The Fall Golf Classic, happening Monday, September 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Big games, big concerts, big events. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Awesome Tickets has your tickets for all the sports, concerts, any city, any event. Avoid the ticket app fees. Since 1994, Awesome Tickets is local and veteran-owned. You deserve Awesome Tickets. Call 210-226-5136 or online at awesometix.com. That's awesome. TIX.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
When you ask people here what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler, for some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing, it's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
St. Louis brought the world gooey butter cake. Now Bluebell brings us gooey butter cake ice cream. A cake batter ice cream with a luscious cream cheese swirl and gooey butter cake pieces. It's the gateway to the best in pints and half gallons.
The good old days being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Fisher's Market Stores and Shell at Cinnamon Creek.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. The Aggies take on the Notre Dame Leprechauns, presented by Ewald Kubota. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
On the north side, working a new accident. Loop 410 eastbound at McCullough Avenue. Traffic is stacked up from Vance Jackson, about a 5-minute delay. Southwest side, working an accident. Right lane blocked. I-35 southbound at Loop 410. About a 5-minute delay there. Also, some good news on the northeast side. I-35 northbound at Evans, as that accident has finally been cleared. And the traffic is unwinding from Judson. I'm Dan Miles, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Congratulations to Paco Guerrero. Sounds like a luchador. I like that name.
He's related to Chavo.
Paco Guerrero. Do a moonsault. If I were born into that name, is that a move?
Moonsault?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it a move?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's from the top rope. You do the, it's like almost like you do a reverse gainer.
Who did that move?
A lot of luchadors do it, but do you remember Vader?
I do remember Vader. But
Vader did it too.
That's a big dude.
Frick yeah, it is. Frick yeah, it is. I think he's dead.
He's the dude that had the thing on his.
Yeah, I liked him. I like big guys that can do. Big Van Vader.
Yeah, it looks like he did. He's still alive. He's 63 years old, living in Denver, Colorado.
No, he died at age 63.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah. R.I.P. Vader. R.I.P. Looks like maybe
it looks like a picture of health. I don't know what it taken.
I'm guessing it was somehow heart related when he passed. All right. A tier 3 quarterback, Rob, as we go through the list here from Mike Sando, which is I guess, what do you call it? A compilation of votes from industry, not media industry, but football industry, coaches, GMs, coordinators.
Okay, before you give me the list, my definition of a tier 3 quarterback is either a bridge, a guy that's there just to mind the ship, win as much as you can, but we're still actively looking for another, or a brand new quarterback that we still just don't know enough about. That's a tier 3 quarterback.
Well, here's what when he sends out this list, and we interviewed him before when I was in Vegas. He puts out the definitions and says, where do you think this guy belongs? A tier 3 quarterback is a legitimate starter, but needs a heavier running game and or defensive component to win.
So not their fault.
A lower volume drop back passing offense suits him best. Which is funny because the top guy on the list of tier 3, like I said, is a guy that I don't fully believe in. I think that he benefits from having a brilliant coach and great weapons around him. Tua Tagovailoa is number 15 on this list, top of tier 3.
I think he's a tier 2. I left him off the list.
I think
he's
most
the last of the tier 2.
Most people think he's a tier 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have voted him tier 3.
Well, okay, so is he the same kind of quarterback as Kyler Murray in a better place? Because they're the same guy.
I think if Kyler Murray had the weapons that Tua did, Kyler Murray could be a borderline 1.
Okay. So it's about his skill set, not the offense he's in.
I mean, yeah, at some point it's like
I hold him in higher esteem. I think he's better than that. I don't think he's a bridge. I know who he is.
Yeah.
Now he could fall, but this year I think he has the opportunity, and we'll see if he can maintain it. And I have the feeling that's why Miami waited so long to sign it.
Number 16 is Trevor Lawrence, who dropped from tier 2 to tier 3 this season. Number 17, Kyler Murray. I think health is a big issue for him.
That and attitude.
Yeah. And video games. Loves video games. Number 18, Deshaun Watson.
Wow.
How the mighty have fallen. Dropped 1 tier this year. You talk about a guy who still, like, when there's still a world where Deshaun Watson could end up being a tier 1 guy.
Any given weekend, he could pull out that full 3-tool game where he's dropping dimes and he's running past you and he's play action near to death and he can roll out. He can do everything that every quarterback in the league needs to be able to do. But I think that he is going to forever be a victim of a couple of things, one being in Cleveland and 2 of his contract. And he's going to be held accountable for both, whether his contract has kept the talent level low because he's getting paid so much, or he can't live up to some of the things that he's capable of. But I still keep him in a tier 2 kind of situation, though. I get it. I'm holding his contract against him more than anything else.
2020 and 2021, both those years he was tier 1. He's the ceiling is there. He got 0 tier 1 votes this year, obviously. 13 tier 2 votes, 35 tier 3 votes, and 2 tier 4 votes. One of the things that jumps off the page to me when I was reading what these guys had to say, I wonder if he loves it enough. He should be way better than this.
What a great point. I think there's something to that.
And that's always my long-term concern. And the reason why I'm willing to write off Aaron Rodgers is I don't think Aaron Rodgers loves football.
A valid point.
And to be good late and to be good when adversity hits, you have to really love football. Like, there's no question to me that Baker Mayfield loves football. Now, Baker Mayfield is physically way more limited than Deshaun Watson is. But, like, Baker Mayfield gets the most out of what he's got because he loves football. Because if he didn't love football, he would have quit. He would have given up after Cleveland.
How long did we lose Deshaun for? A year and a half?
Yeah.
He's never been the same. There's
No.
no question. And that's new team, new environs and all that. I don't know how to parse this yet. I'm going to withhold judgment for another year. I'm afraid if I'm getting ready to play Deshaun Watson, it's a long week.
Yeah.
The guy's got a lot of skills, as much or more than anybody on this tier for sure.
Number 19 is Baker Mayfield, who jumped up a tier, was tier 4 a year ago, now tier 3.
He's a tier 3 till he dies.
Yep.
Man. That's what he is.
Derek Carr is number 20, tied for 20th, actually, with Geno Smith, both of whom
will be gone next year.
Yeah, both of whom were at tier 3 last year. And Russell Wilson.
He'll be gone.
The very, very bottom of tier 3. And this is a guy who, I mean, you think back to, we were talking about 2020 with Deshaun. In 2020, Russell Wilson was unanimous tier 1. 50 votes, 50 guys said he was tier 1. 2021, he got 40 tier 1 votes, 10 tier 2 votes. This year, he got 0 tier 1, 3 tier 2 votes, 35 tier 3, and 12 tier 4. Some people are like, this guy is done. You and I disagree on him.
You know what? No, we
you're
don't
coming around
anymore.
to it.
I'm
Okay.
on your side. I thought he had more in the tank. I really did. I thought he got short shifted there in Denver. I thought Peyton just from the get-go was not going to deal with Russell for whatever reason and did everything he could to undermine him. And then, cut him. Just flat out pay you to leave. And I think that alone made me want – I just still remember this Seattle Russell. But what I've seen in Pittsburgh, yeah, it's done. It's done.
Tier 4. A tier 4 quarterback could be an unproven player, so not enough information for voters to classify, or a veteran who ideally would not start all 17 games, like you said, a bridge quarterback. Number 23, top of tier 4, Daniel Jones. I think if there were
it's over.
It is rapidly declining for Daniel Jones.
Quarterback for the next 10 years. Accept your position and go make some money.
Well, except now he's paid well.
Yeah.
And
well, he won't get the end of that deal, but
number 24, Justin Fields.
See, I think that
dropped a tier from last year.
Yeah, I think he'll be back up there. I've seen enough things this year. I'm not. He's going to end up starting by the end of the year. He'll be the starting quarterback there.
Number 25 is forever tier 4 because he is the definition of a bridge quarterback. Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
26, Anthony Richardson. This is his first time being rated. There's just not enough information on him.
Boy, he looked a lot like Tre Lance. He looked like a lot of ill-timed and poorly accurately thrown passes.
Also tied for 26, Will Levis. First time in the rankings.
I don't know.
We don't know enough about him. 28, Bryce Young.
Yikes.
29, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And number 30, Jacoby Brissett.
You traded the world away to go get Bryce Young.
Yeah. I mean, it's that's rough.
Now, everybody that did it's gone now. They've already paid the price, haven't they? Is GM still there?
I think GM is still there.
I think but everybody else involved with that pick is gone. And soon Bryce will be too.
I don't know of a human being that has been put in a worse situation as a quarterback ever. So I'm just giving him a little benefit of the doubt, one offensive coach said.
Is that on Bryce?
9 voters placed him in tier 3, but tier 4 was so he had nine votes, 41 tier 4 votes. They threw him to the wolves, one head coach said. From an intelligence standpoint, from an arm strength standpoint, I think he can do all those things, but I think the size is a major detriment.
Sounds like Baker.
He still has escapability, but he's a smaller frame guy. He's going to struggle in the pocket, and at some point, the guy is going to get hurt. How would Stroud have fared in Carolina if the first and second picks had been reversed? And it says, if you give Young a 4, it's partly because that place was so messed up. But I think Frank Reich is a good offensive coach. Is Dave Canales really going to be this revolutionary change on offense? He was good with Baker, I get it, but it wouldn't surprise me if we have this conversation 2 years from now and Bryce Young is a 3.
Well, I don't think Frank Reich I think Frank Reich was a good offensive coach. I think what he did is no longer applicable. I don't hold him in any. How many jobs in a row did he get run out of? He ruined the Colts. He ruined them.
What's funny is Frank Reich. I remember thinking this at the time, like, because almost everybody said Frank Reich ruined the Colts, but Frank Reich had a winning record as the head coach of the Colts.
That team was not the same. For whatever reason, he was benefiting from previous. I hold him in the least regard because of what he did to his quarterback, because of what he had done with the Colts, and because of the collapse right after the Super Bowl with the Eagles. I don't think he was the right guy at the right time in 2 consecutive places. And Bryce Young's career is over for that. He is never going to get out of the spiral that he's in now. I just cannot see it happening. Hopefully he finds what Baker Mayfield found eventually, was a place that didn't expect much. And he's going to have to survive the next 4 years to even get there. And I don't see how he survives because, again, perfect. I'm worried about his long-term health. He just didn't big enough to survive what he's going to have to go through the next couple of years.
Think about this. The 4 full seasons that Frank Reich had in Indy, he got fired after going 3-5-1 in his 5th year. 10-6, 7-9, 11-5, 9-8, and they went 1-2 in the playoffs. That doesn't get you fired in most places.
No,
but there's got to be something to Frank Reich, whether it's the way coaches respond to him or the way he interacts with people, that they were just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth dealing with him.
Yeah, borrowed time. He will be. And he'll lose offensive coordinator. He'll become a quarterback's coach, and then he'll become a consultant. You can just see it's just not working. What his plan was, the Carson Wentz idea, those guys don't play anymore.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There is the list from The Athletic from Mike Sando. I'm gonna vote it when we look at this at the end of the year. We're gonna say that I'm gonna surprise you here. A guy that I think is gonna move up from tier 3 back to tier 2 is Trevor Lawrence.
I think so. I'm with you.
I think Kyler Murray's gonna move up to tier 2, and I think this time next year, C.J. Stroud and Justin Herbert are both tier 1.
I'll give you Stroud. I think Herbert's still got some issues. I'm not going to say issues. I think the offense is going to be a little bit more.
You know what? You might be right. The personnel around him is not. It's going to be tough for him to move to tier. He's going to have to win.
Well, I think he's going to win games, but I don't think you're going to see the 303 and 3 touchdown games. I think it's going to be 250, 2 touchdown kind of a season for him. Fewer turnovers.
That might be a positive.
I agree. I think that's exactly what he needs to be. And then next year, I'm going to wait and see what he's unleashed under the Harbaugh system. But I think he's going to be constrained this year. And that's the best thing that could happen to him.
Because I still believe, like, if you were building quarterbacks in a lab, I think Josh Allen is the most prototype, like, when it comes to arm strength and legs and things like that, just the physical tools. I'm not talking about neck up. Because then, like, guys like Joe Burrow is way up there, I think. And obviously Mahomes is a catch-all, but I think physically he does more than he should. But I think Josh Allen is the guy you'd build in a lab, and the second guy I'd build in the lab is Justin Herbert, like right behind him. But building quarterbacks in a lab doesn't work. Otherwise, Ryan Leaf and Jeff George would be in the Hall of Fame. So
Sam Darnold will have a year. Sam Darnold will place himself kind of like Baker Mayfield. He might not be a permanent starter, but I think Sam Darnold will be starting for an NFL team next year because of the season he's going to have this year.
You know what? If he has a season like that this year, JJ McCarthy might be sitting around next year.
But I think Sam Darnold is finally found a place and a quarterback and a system and a plan, and a coach that understands what he's capable of. And I think he's probably the most likely of these. Was he tier 3?
He's tier 4.
He'll jump to 3. I think I put him in the Baker Mayfield world. He just needs to find a spot. He'll never be a superstar, but he'll be a nice bridge for a couple years, wherever that might be. And it might be while they wait for JJ McCarthy to grow into the Jordan Love idea. Maybe that's the fix right here. But I do think of all these guys we've listed, I'm comfortable with the fact that Sam Darnold will find his place and Justin Fields down there will find a spot upward and kind of move up a little bit.
You know who I wouldn't be surprised if he moved up next year from tier 4 to tier 3 is Anthony Richardson, mostly because what I hear everybody say about him is like he is the closest thing to Cam Newton since Cam Newton, and like his physical gifts are so great. Like speaking of quarterbacks who you build in a lab, like when a guy is his size, he shouldn't be allowed to run the way he does, which is kind of what I think about Josh Allen sometimes. And he's got an incredible arm strength. Like he's got the tools to do it. It's just a matter of if the Colts are going to do anything with him.
Just don't blow his psyche up. Allow him to be that and don't blame him for the mistakes. I guess. I mean, he didn't look all that good the last time I saw him. But he's quick.
All right. This show is flying by. We'll hear from Mike McCarthy coming up next, and we'll figure out what the cops in Vegas are hiding. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
Missions Baseball returns Tuesday night at Wolf Stadium. Join us for AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch is at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Have you or a family member been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing, personal injury or criminal defense. Attorney Jesse Hernandez and his team are ready to fight for you. Calls are answered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Call 210-807-8656 or visit JesseHernandezLaw.com. That's 210-807-8656 or JesseHernandezLaw.com. The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
When your little one has a cold with a fever, try new DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. It's the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever offers fast, effective cold and fever relief for kids ages 6 and up with a delicious grape flavor that kids love. New DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever will help them feel better fast so they can get back to the fun stuff quickly. New DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
St. Louis brought the world gooey butter cake. Now Bluebell brings us gooey butter cake ice cream. A cake batter ice cream with a luscious cream cheese swirl and gooey butter cake pieces. It's the gateway to the best in pints and half gallons.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Fisher's Market Stores and Shell at Cinnamon Creek.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
On the north side, working a new accident. Loop 410 eastbound at McCullough Avenue. Traffic is stacked up from Vance Jackson, about a 5-minute delay. Southwest side, working an accident. Right lane blocked. I-35 southbound at Loop 410. About a 5-minute delay there. Also, finally, some good news on the northeast side. I-35 northbound at Evans, as that accident has finally been cleared. And that traffic is unwinding from Judson. Dan Miles, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Bernie Little League fell just short over the weekend, falling in the U.S. Championship to the Southeast team 10-7. In the NFL, Dallas Cowboys fell 26-19 in their final preseason game to the Chargers. Tre Lance threw for 323 yards and a touchdown. But, 5 interceptions in the loss. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Yeah, baby. Happy Monday, Morning Huddlers. Rob and AJ getting you through the start of your week here. Blitz guys will be back from Vegas. Probably not that hungover because they're more responsible than people like me.
Well, they had a chance to sleep it off. Dude.
That's true. I took a long nap yesterday when I got home, and then I made myself wake up because I thought, well, if I go to bed at 1 p.m. and sleep until 3:30, that'd be awesome. But I just didn't picture myself actually making it that far.
You need to really apply yourself. I think if you really gave it the effort, you probably could have done it.
Ingested enough drugs, it probably would have
worked. One way or the other, I think effort.
But either way, here I sit. And fairly well rested, actually. Could have been worse, given the givens of this weekend. We haven't talked about Bernie Little League. RIP to Bernie Little League. Florida, you know what? Congrats to Florida for winning the championship.
A big old boy stealing home plate.
They beat Chinese Taipei, which is I'm always glad when the Americans win. I'm pro-America.
In my mind, Taipei was always the foe. And I saw where they had won it 17 times, but they hadn't won it since 96.
Yeah. We don't want them winning. But my biggest beef, and this has happened to my son before too. Little League does this. They have a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket in these double elimination tournaments.
Basketball's like this too.
It's ridiculous. Because everybody has a chance to lose a game except for the team that earned the right to get to the end without losing one.
That went undefeated to the championship game. If they'd have lost 2 games prior, they'd have still had another chance, but no.
Yeah. That's wild. And then so when they get to the end, it's a 0-loss team against a 1-loss team, yet it becomes do or die. It's garbage. I felt bad for them. I felt bad the way they lost, which was a tough way to lose.
They just ran out of time and pitchers.
Yeah, and dude, pitching is like when you coach youth baseball, you can't have enough pitchers. You just can't. And if there's a kid who doesn't pitch, you ask him why not. Why haven't you learned how to pitch? Like you just try and just if you can eat me a couple innings here and there,
They did all they could, man. The bats were steady. Offense was never the problem. Couple of mistakes, stolen home plate and a fourth pitcher. It's just going to be hard to get there, and it took extra innings to do it.
So bummer of a way, but you know what? Awesome run by them. Again, phenomenal. I go back to that Little League rule set where double elimination if you're going to do that, just have a single elimination tournament.
And I'm glad that eventually they did lose to the world champ. It wasn't like they went down. I will say though, they were the better team. They were deeper.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just winning titles is hard.
Two teams went through with 1 loss.
Yeah, it's hard.
And one of them got a trophy, and the other one is sitting at home. And I don't get it, but is what it is. Venezuela. How about that Chinese Taipei beating that Venezuela team? Boy,
unbelievable.
They were the big boogeyman early in that thing, and just couldn't hold up over the whole course. So maybe you say who the better team was.
Might have been Venezuela.
May have been Bernie and Venezuela. Should have been playing in the finals, and neither one of them ended up being there. Which is sometimes
kids,
the way it crumbles.
I know a couple kids that were on the first San Antonio team to run through here back in 08, 07, 08. Those kids coming out. I know a few way back when, and it was one of those things that we still talk about when we see each other. The memorable run those kids had.
Yep.
And good for everything they did. Congratulations, Bernie. You made the rest of South and Central Texas proud.
All right, other random NFL note that it got announced this morning. Adam Schefter reporting that the Cleveland Browns are going to start the season with Nick Chubb on the PUP list, which means he will not play in at least the first 4 games, which means the Dallas Cowboys won't have to deal with Nick Chubb, which I think anytime you don't have to see Nick Chubb across from you is a good thing.
Yeah. Although I was kind of eager. I want to see this Zimmer defense against the run, because last year, Quinn, that was the bugaboo, man. We were all, we saw a team with a bunch of athletes that could get to the ball. They just couldn't slow it down.
Well, you'll have plenty of opportunities. You'll see the Ravens coming up.
Yeah, it's coming.
You'll see the 49ers in week 6, something like that. So you'll have plenty of chances to see him against, and even Bijan coming up around the bend.
Might be the best fantasy back out there.
Christian McCaffrey, a healthy Christian McCaffrey will have a lot to say
about
that.
Also, people were talking about Pacheco, for those of you that are drafting, that they like him back up there.
All right, enjoy that. Not me. Just a guy. But yeah, Nick Chubb will miss the first 4 games of the season. Back to the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy. We haven't heard from him. We heard from Tre. We heard from Jera. But Mike McCarthy talked about the bad news, the worst news that came out of last week, which was Deron Bland's injury.
I mean, it's something that came up in practice while we were still in Oxnard. And just like any injury, you go through the scans and, second opinions and things like that. So, we've known about it for a few days, and this is the best plan for DB. And I think it's going to be between 6 to 8 weeks, and just like he attacks everything, he'll attack the rehab the same way.
All right, that's enough of you, Mike McCarthy. Omaha, we'll call an audible. I didn't see this coming.
Well, we knew it was coming. We just weren't sure it was appropriate day, but we thought it was post game. But we're excited.
I'm happy to bring into the morning huddle this morning the coach of the UTSA Fighting Roadrunners. I don't know if that's appropriate to say Fighting Roadrunners.
Yeah, they're fighting,
but
man.
I like to say it like that. Jeff Traylor joins us on the morning huddle. Good morning, Coach Traylor.
Good morning, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Coach, we're glad you're around today. Kennesaw State, let's talk about it. And I have to ask the question. We'll just get it out of the way. You got a quarterback for us?
We do. We're excited to watch that guy run out there Saturday at 2:30 and take the opening snap.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people don't have much nice to say about Kennesaw State, but is what we saw in this week 0, like with Florida State losing to Georgia Tech, is that a wake-up call that no matter how many points you're favored by, you need to be ready to go against these teams? Because these teams have all off season long to prepare to see you. So even no matter if you've got a big talent discrepancy or not, was it a wake up call for your guys to see a top 10 team go down like that in week 0?
Well, I think there's even a better example than that one. You have Nevada. It's a 28-point underdog, SMU, and we're only a 24-point favorite compared to 28, right? So less than, greater than. You can figure that out yourself. And SMU has to go down there and score on their last drive to win the ball game. So there's just the first week is just you just really don't know. There's other things about Kennesaw. The head coach has been there 10 years. They've got a proud program. I mean, you look at their stadium, the crowds, they're packed in the stands. They got a really nice stadium. They've won at a high level for a decade. Now you say, well, they didn't win last year. Well, he played it very smart. I mean, they knew they were going to FBS, only playing a 9-game schedule. They could not compete for any championships at all. So what he did was very intelligent. He redshirted 75% of his roster. So they just rotated their kids playing 4 games at a shot last year and brought all those kids back. And you look at how tough he played Sam Houston last year. Sam Houston 24-21. And Sam Houston moved up to FBS last year. And even though Sam did not have a great record last year, they played every FBS team to a touchdown, a one-possession ball game. So these guys are a lot better than I want them to be. And they're very well coached. And so there it is. That's the true story on Kennesaw.
That is head coach of your UTSA Roadrunners, Jeff Traylor, welcoming in Kennesaw State Saturday. Let's fill the dome. So here we sit, Coach, coming into another season. We can exhale and start playing some football, and other stuff goes away. When you were hired and as you went through the last year's process, as every coach goes through, Where is the UTSA football program in your mind as where you wanted it to be and where it actually is? Are you right where you wanted to be?
Yeah, I think we couldn't be in a much better position. You finally get the opportunity to play for the 12 and get in the playoffs, which is a whole new excitement. Now, you don't get a mulligan when you're us. You got to play perfect for the entire season, and that's pretty tough. Where obviously if you're in one of those P4 leagues, you get to have a couple of mulligans, and we just don't get one. And but I think we're in a really good spot with the new world. We get to start paying our players now through the university. What's that going to look like? You get to have up to 105 scholarships now. What's that going to look like? So there's still some stuff. Our NIL world, 210inspired.org and 210 City Fans. We had a great kickoff luncheon Friday.
Mm-hmm.
The last year we had 76 tables. This year we sold 94. Emmett Smith came to town, did a really good job. So very grateful for our boosters that continue to help us with the NIL world. But now the university can also start paying. And those P4 guys can pay $22 million from their university. So the gap got a lot bigger. Unless President Amy and Dr. Compost are just going to shock me and tell me we're going to give out $22 million. Our entire budget's not, but probably not much more than that. So I doubt that's going to happen.
Obviously, the big story with you guys is losing who I like to call him Dr. Frank Harris. You guys lose him after 7 good years. But a lot of people aren't talking about on the defensive side. You lost a couple guys, namely Cam Alexander and Trey Moore, arguably two of your top defensive guys last year. Lose them to the transfer portal, Oregon and Texas specifically. How do you replace guys like that? Obviously, we know replacing Frank's difficult, but how do you replace the guys on D?
Let's talk about Rashad Wisdom. Rashad Wisdom probably wore our zero for his entire career here. All-time leading tackler, playing for Tampa Bay right now. That's going to be a huge void in our defense. We lost Brandon Matterson, who's playing for the Denver Broncos right now.
Yep.
Defensive line, really good football player. And obviously the other two are big losses as well. Don't get me wrong. And we got to play one of them week 3, which is even more interesting. So we've lost to the two you mentioned, plus Brandon, plus Rashad. Those are big losses. And we have really recruited well again. Our defense is going to be very good again. And we're excited to watch the guys. We were really worried about our corner position. We also lost Nick Troy Fortune, our other starting corner. But we really crushed it in the transfer portal. You'll be excited to watch those 4 corners we rolled out there.
Denver Harris transferring in from LSU. Is that it? When you play the transfer portal game as a mid-major or a G5 team, I don't know what the appropriate term is anymore, but when you get these guys from an LSU who's maybe not seeing as much playing time as he'd like to in the SEC, and he gets down to a school like UTSA, how much of a boon is that from a talent standpoint to bring a guy like that who was at one point a power 4 type recruit to get that guy in the building with your guys? How much of a win does that feel like?
Oh, I just don't look at it that way. You guys get all caught up in all those stars and all that stuff, and we got other guys that can play too now. We've got 3 other corners going to roll out there, and when Denver got here, he was shocked at how good we were. And just because some magazine didn't tell y'all they were good, I trust my own eyes. And we got a lot of other guys good. Now, Denver, to your point, is a very good football player. But I'm just telling you, when you go out there and watch Zach Morris play corner, you're going to be like, dang, that's a really good football player. When you watch Zay Frazier play corner, you're going to go, man, that's another really good football player. When you watch Cyrus Stitch Dumas go play corner, you're going to go, dang, they got 4 really good corners. So I'll take my 2 stars and my 5 stars. If they can play, I've had 5 stars couldn't play dead in the Western. Just because some magazine 5-star doesn't mean nothing.
Oh, Coach, you put on that maroon, that burnt orange, you get an extra star. That's just kind of the rules.
100%. I've recruited at one of those places, and it's amazing how I get those guys, and all of a sudden their ratings go up just to the roof.
Speaking of the recruits, and there is the recruiting, and then there is the output of the recruiting. When you look at the watch list, UTSA now, you've got guys on every possible watch list, from kicker to Nagurski to wide receiver to every award that can be had. Oscar Cardenas out there for the Mackey Award. That's really where the proof is. The guys that you're bringing, and now you got guys that are on the national watch list from either Senior Bowls to those primary awards. How much of that is part of the kind of guy you're bringing in, or is this an offshoot of just your program is showing depth at every position?
Yeah, it's all that. There's no doubt about it. And like I've said before, the reason we're getting all these awards, the reason we're picked second in the league, the reason we're getting mentioned to be in the 12 already, the reason we're getting top 25 votes already is not because of this team, though. It's because of the success of the last 4 years. This team ain't done squat yet. We got to go do something for this team right now. But yeah, like I said in the opening AAC Media Day, they asked me how I felt about being picked second and only our second year in the league. And I literally said, it sure beats the heck out of being picked last where we were when we started. Now, does it really mean anything? No, it's the tip of the hat. It's respect to the previous 4 years. But I'd sure as heck be rather pick second, first, or third than dead last like when we got here, brother.
Coach Traylor, what was the biggest difference to you? I say moving up from Conference USA to a more difficult AAC. What was in year one? What was the biggest difference in your mind?
Infrastructure, just the amount of staff, the pay of their staffs, their commitment to NIL. Again, I'm not making excuses for our school, but we're a new school. We're a new football program, and SMU have been playing ball for a long time. Tulane, South Florida, Memphis. I really wanted to stay in Conference USA for about 5 more years. I enjoyed that. I didn't want to come up here, and it's making us grow, right? It's really what needed to happen. I'm total support of President Amy Dr. Campos for the decision. I'm not trying to say that, but privately they both will tell you I enjoyed being in that other league because I knew infrastructure-wise, I would say we're the top of that league. Where when you come into this league, I'd say we're middle of the pack and closing.
2:30 in the Dome on Saturday. For those that are new to San Antonio, if you haven't been to a UTSA game, they understand what it involves. The tailgate is as good a scene as anywhere in the country. I'm telling you, that's a great scene, and the games themselves are a lot of fun. If you haven't been, get your birds up and go downtown. It's going to be a fun year, Coach. We're so glad you're back. We're looking forward to an extraordinary season. We'll talk to you 2 weeks. We're not going to be here next Monday. Best of luck as we fill the Dome, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks, Coach.
Thank y'all for y'all's time always. God bless. Birds up.
There you go. Birds up. That is a head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, Jeff Traylor. All guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricade provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com.
I forget how exciting this UTSA program is. I get wrapped up in my own Agginess and all the things going on there. San Antonio has, I'll say it again, the best young coach in college football.
I don't disagree.
No question about it. And he has built this program. I just went down the watch list. We've got a player on the running back watch list. We've got a player on the tight end watch list. We've got 2 defensive linemen on their award watch list. We got 4 other guys that are on the watch list for Senior Bowls. This is a UTSA program that is young.
Yeah, they're returning some good stuff, particularly running backs. I think their top 3 backs all came
back.
They're getting a good receiver back from injury. The question really is, well, I think their secondary has to be better than it was last year. And I think, he mentioned they've revamped the secondary. But the question is who's going to play quarterback? And let's face it, Owen McCown last year, when we did see him, it was like, oof, maybe he's not ready. Maybe he's just, but he's a redshirt freshman. Maybe he's become that dude. I don't know. And I kind of had a feeling that Coach Traylor wasn't going to tell us who's playing quarterback. We'll find out on Saturday.
A running joke, but yeah. Well,
but yeah, I mean, if they can get quality quarterback play, this is a team who can be in that in that conversation to make the college football playoff. All right. I guess when we come back now, we may hear from McCarthy. I don't know if we have time now. We'll see. Coach Traylor may have taken up all Coach McCarthy's time. Sorry, Coach. Because we got some stuff. We got some non-sports stuff. We got too much stuff to do. So Mike McCarthy just got bumped by Coach Traylor.
He's got to get used to it.
Yep. All right. Well, it is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on the Blitz, we are back home from Las Vegas. What a trip that was. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that.
Maybe a little bit, but we will talk with a legend that is retiring, Bill Land, longtime voice of the Spurs. He'll join us at 3:35.
And Jeff Traylor will make his first visit at 5:15.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of 98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your car, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
You've got a pecto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute. Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pecto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief so you can get back to making memories.
Let's go, Dad!
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Football season is here. It's the greatest time of the year. Jason Minnick's here from the Blitz for UnderdogFantasy.com. You know, I've been playing Underdog for a long time now, and over 1 million fans got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog. You too can join and win up to 325 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Getting signed up is easy. Go to the app or UnderdogFantasy.com and use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will give you a highly discounted pick to use on your first pick'em entry, plus a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to ncpgambling.org. Underdog Fantasy, promo code STAR to claim your new customer offer of a Give Me First pick and your deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Get signed up now at Underdog Fantasy.
Why wait for the weekend? Twin Peaks is serving scratch food and pouring quality cocktails every day after dark. Visit a Twin Peaks near you and experience the best late night in the league. Today, tomorrow, or any day of the week. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Looking around on the Twitters, looks like Jeremy Sohan was in a car accident. Lime green Porsche, all banged up.
Where?
I don't know.
I saw a picture of him over the weekend getting his purple hair braided.
Well, this was yesterday.
Yikes.
Actually, it looks like San Antonio, actually.
Yikes.
Yeah.
He's okay, though. We don't have
Yeah, he looks like he's okay. His car, not as much. You know.
I know a good lawyer. Just in case. I'm just saying.
Who would you have him call?
He's a lawyer for us. That's
a lawyer for us.
That's all I'll get into.
AlawyerforUs.com is where I would go if I were you, Jeremy Sohan.
That's me.
Well, no, it's a fine sponsor of our radio station.
Of course, it was your fault then.
If you were, let's just say you were sitting on 40 kilos of drugs.
Okay.
$500,000 in cash. Would you call the cops and have them come out and take a look at the breaking and entering that happened at your house?
So I've got a bunch of drugs and a bunch of cash, and I'm holed up someplace, and somebody tried to break in and steal my stuff.
Yeah.
Would you call the cops?
Yeah.
Probably not.
The answer is never.
Yeah. I probably make sure that I was as far away from that place as possible.
Well, this Canadian fella said,
"Oh, I'm sorry."
In Prince George, BC, he said, "Hey, these hosers tried to break into my house here. Can you guys come check it out?" And they came to check it out, and what they found was about 40 kilos of illicit drugs, included suspected fentanyl, cocaine, and meth, 120,000 counterfeit cigarettes.
What?
120,000 counterfeit cigarettes.
Counterfeit cigarettes. All right.
And more than $500,000 in cash. They also seized more than 11 kilos of cannabis and 11 kilos of what they thought to be a cutting agent, making it the largest drug bust in the city's history.
And he called the cops on himself.
Yes. I don't even know. I don't know what you could possibly be thinking. Like, unless they were currently in your house.
Well,
even then, I think but then you just got, if you're already doing I don't know, maybe hide your 120,000 cigarettes.
You know, I hear Canadian cops are nice. So maybe they were to investigate the crime.
They weren't that nice, apparently. 2 women showed up in Tampa to a dog adoption. They were, and that's nice. That's a good story. Good start to the story. I love when did you break your microphone in there?
Yeah.
Oh man, what a dope.
It hasn't happened in a while though.
You need to have them fix yours like they did mine. Mine never breaks
permanent.
Now. It never breaks. It used to break all the time. They came in and fixed it just like that. These women are trying to adopt a dog. That's lovely. Unfortunately, they had plans to adopt the same dog.
So 2 women came in for the same dog, not together.
No.
Uh-oh.
And they came at around the same time, and they got into a fight. And that alone tells you they were very serious about this dog. They both really wanted this dog. But one lady said, "Oh yeah, I want it more." And she pulled a gun out and held the lady at gunpoint. Police department came in and arrested her.
That must be a cute dog.
It doesn't say what kind of dog it is. What kind of dog would you pull a gun on somebody for that wasn't even your dog? I pull a gun on you for my dog, but this stranger dog, take it. You want it? Take it.
Well, you never know. She might, or he, or whoever she might not make it through the adoption process. I got turned down one time.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of scumbag are you?
I'm telling you.
What the hell's on your record?
I don't know what. I didn't have a big enough yard, I guess. But maybe you didn't need to pull a gun. You could have just waited through. They might have told the other one, "No, sorry, you don't live up to the standards we have to save a dog."
Speaking of calling the cops when you're not supposed to, looks like a high school football coach here in Texas has done just that. Rolando Ramos he is from Laredo, Texas.
Do we know which high school?
I don't know which high school.
Nixon, Smiley.
It just says a high school football coach from Laredo was arrested after he allegedly called the police to report that a prostitute had stolen money from him.
Again, you brought this on yourself.
Ramos called police to report a theft. After they arrived at the scene of the crime, authorities said they discovered Ramos was attempting to pay a prostitute for sexual services. The prostitute allegedly took $100 and ran away. First of all, he is the quarterback's coach for the Cigarroa High School.
Cigarroa, okay.
Figueroa Toros. First of all, if she ran away with $100, that tells me you were hoping to get change. What hooker gives you change from 100? That's some third world stuff right there.
There's a lot of jokes. A lot of jokes here.
If a hooker steals $100 from you, you chalk that up as the price of doing business, bro. If she steals your watch, that's the price of doing business. You don't call the cops on yourself for soliciting a hooker.
Who took your money?
I'm not sure, but you have to register as a sex offender?
Right now you do. If he's convicted, that would be as.
Think about that. I could drop this hundo, or I can call the cops and maybe get registered as a sex offender for the rest of my life. That seems like a really easy choice to me.
Well, he'll get to decide from here on out, as he won't be allowed to coach.
The
coaching career is now
his
done.
Coaching career has come to an end. I have a real question about what's going on in Vegas. So the NFL tried to implement this policy where anybody who's going to be on the sideline has to do like this biometric face scan.
So you're talking about like you're invited from the Raiders, or you can go be with the team because you're a star, so you can hang with them. And okay.
Well, they're not going to do photo identification or any kind of biometrics. The Las Vegas Police Department has said they're not going to do that. They are going in wearing just a wristband, and they are not going to abide by the NFL's new access policy because they said the league lacked the power to enforce those rules. Which in a way, I think they're right. The representative of the police, the president of the Police Protective Association, says they didn't like it, but they didn't have a choice. We told them what we were going to do. The department released a statement last week back in the union when the issue arose, leading into the Raiders preseason game against the Cowboys. They said, we made it very clear we weren't going to bend on this issue. We recognize the NFL says we recognize the importance of our public safety partners and appreciate their efforts to ensure a safe game day environment. We've had productive conversations with the Vegas PD and about our modernized secure credentialing system for all working staff. The credentialing system will enhance security at our stadiums, and we look forward to working with all stakeholders to address any questions or concerns raised. My question is, what are the cops hiding?
I think they're just lazy.
That they're going way out of their way to avoid being facially scanned? What are they hiding? Because they're I
think they're just trying to stay out of more work. Sounds to me like,
dude, it's just being scanned on your way into the stadium. It's not that hard. You just stand there, and it's like when you get on the.
Do you want to get? Okay. What about being on somebody's database?
I've got TSA pre-check. Every time you go in, they scan your face, and the face says, "Yep, that's AJ Hoffman." I'm not going to do a crime, Rob.
Well, good.
I don't do crime, and I like to think that the police wouldn't do crime.
Or maybe
police would never do crime.
Maybe they have done crime and have stopped. And now
that's what I'm saying.
Caught.
What the hell are they hiding is what I want to know. What are they hiding? Finally, and this is poetic, the officer who arrested that thug, Scotty Scheffler.
I didn't know he was still employed. Good.
No, well, that's the thing, Rob. Louisville Metro Police Officer Javar Downs was searching a man during a traffic stop and seized an envelope with about $10,000 cash in it just after midnight on Wednesday. He's now been arrested.
Oh, so that $10,000 didn't make it back to the...
Well, no. He turned in $6,000 in cash.
Well.
Yeah, weird how that works out.
So this is the dude that detained and arrested Scheffler.
Yes. In May, Downs was the officer who arrested him during the second round of the PGA Championship, during the morning of the second round at Valhalla in Louisville, Kentucky. He has now been on emergency suspension, limited his police powers, and started the process of terminating his employment. My guess is he was on double secret probation anyway after he arrested a white guy, a white golfer.
Who, by the way, the governor was called.
Yes. Hey, we got an officer down here. He's detained a professional golfing type.
For doing nothing.
All the charges against Scheffler were dropped. If I were this officer, I would get Scotty Scheffler's lawyer. And
I think it'd be a good idea. This guy's going to jail.
I think, well, I don't know if he's going to jail. I just don't think he's going to be sending anybody else to jail.
Well, if you pocketed $4,000, allegedly pocketed $4,000, you're going to go to jail.
His official charges are taking over $1,000 and official misconduct.
You're going to plead out to some time because you don't want to sit in front of a jury. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but you want to do time? You're a cop.
Well, it'd be a lot more if you sat in front of a jury. You better trust your lawyer because I don't care how clean you try to get that jury pool. None of them are going to be happy with cops, especially one that allegedly took $4,000.
All right. When we come back, we will take a look at the daily line, see where we can hopefully make some money back that I lost on the blackjack tables this weekend. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Fall Golf Classic is back. Monday, September 30th at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Fall Golf Classic, benefiting San Antonio sports, is presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chungla, sponsored in part by Jim Beam, PPL Motorhomes, Flight by England, Tomalitos Mexican Restaurant. The Fall Golf Classic happening Monday, September 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Attention Roadrunner fans, get ready for an electrifying season of UTSA football. Season tickets are on sale now, starting at just $90. That's right, for only $90 you can catch all the action, all the touchdowns, and all the excitement at the Alamo Dome. Bring your family, bring your friends, and join the fun as we cheer on our UTSA Roadrunners to victory. Don't miss out on the best deal in town. Get your season tickets today and be a part of the Roadrunner family. Visit GoUTSA.com to secure your seats now. UTSA football, it's more than a game, it's an experience. Go Runners!
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. I'm one of 5 million active members. I play every day because you know why? It's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports because I get to use my knowledge and apply it to win some serious money. And as a player, they invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if your pick don't hit. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Pick with just as simple 4 correct picks. It is that easy to play. You can have fun. It's simple. It's a great playing experience, and you can use your knowledge. How well is Tyreek Hill going to do this week? How is Dak Prescott going to play? If you know, you go play. It's Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code Alamo and get $50 instantly when you play. That's code Alamo on Prize Picks. You get $50 instantly when you play just 5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Lowe's knows saving pros time and money means getting the job done easier. Right now, get up to 50% off select composite decking and railing. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at Lowe's.com/credit for details.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
St. Louis brought the world gooey butter cake. Now Bluebell brings us gooey butter cake ice cream. A cake batter ice cream with a luscious cream cheese swirl and gooey butter cake pieces. It's the gateway to the best in pints and half gallons.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Fisher's Market Stores and Shell at Cinnamon Creek.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
The west side working a new accident. Highway 90 eastbound at Loop 410. Right lane is blocked. Got you stacked up from Montgomery. About a 15 or 16 minute delay. Also on the southeast side, they're still working that accident on I-37 northbound as you approach the Con Valley. Left lane remains blocked there. Traffic is sluggish from Southeast Military Drive. About a 5-minute delay. Dan Miles, KTSA, and Saver Traffic.
Hey, this is Brady. Join me today at 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right. Yes, sir. Morning Huddle 94.1. Wrapping it up on a Monday. Always wrap it up, boys. Always. Let's do what we always do around this time. Take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Gary on the chat says, your take on running backs is a crime.
Who's running backs?
I don't know. Did any of us give a take on running backs today? Do you remember that, Edwin?
Unless you guys are talking about Deuce Vaughn.
We didn't even get to talk about Deuce Vaughn, who it looks like is going to make the team.
You mean Gadget Juice?
That's Jerry Jones's take. I got to ask Edwin while we've got you. We'll start with ladies basketball because Edwin is our resident lady basketball expert. Probably the biggest WNBA fan I've ever met, to be honest.
No, there's more.
I'm saying that I've ever met. Like, you watch games, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I do.
They're on when he's in the room.
No, dude, he watches the games.
Okay.
Like
when they're on TV more.
Yeah. There's a lot of channels. You know that, right?
I have a lot of them.
And you like to watch the ladies basketball league.
That's my favorite sport to watch. So, yeah.
Okay. That's all. You don't have to be like defensive about it. You're the one who told me this. Now, you told me that this thug, Kennedy Carter, who assaulted Caitlin Clark.
Who's an Aggie, by the way.
Yeah, Rob, you should take some accountability here.
She just plays physical. That's all.
Assaulted Caitlin Clark. Has since assaulted another lady basketball player?
Yeah, former teammate. The last name's Mayberry, but I forgot Maria Mayberry. I forgot the first name. But
is she a white girl?
Yeah.
So a white girl named Mayberry got assaulted by a thug player from the Chicago team.
Mm-hmm.
Former teammate. No love lost.
They were they got to kick this gal out of the league.
Well,
they got to kick her out of the league.
Well, she's an Aggie, so they should kick her out of the league anyways. But
I mean, it's enough's enough. How many poor girls is she going to assault?
She's a menace.
Oh, Gary said, AJ said Pacheco's just a guy.
Oh, see, Pacheco's not just a guy. I agree with him there.
Okay. Put Pacheco behind someone not named
I'm
Patrick
just saying,
Mahomes.
fantasy-wise, he is going to have some numbers.
All right. The Indiana Fever are 1.5-point favorites tonight at the Atlanta Dream.
AJ, what has happened to our acumen with women's basketball has been less than
Something's
stellar
changed
over the last
since
week.
the Olympics.
Yeah, they all went to the Olympics and ruined everything.
Something has changed. But the Fever, remember the Atlanta Dream. What is the standings like? Is Atlanta still fighting for a playoff spot with Indiana?
I think it's more with Chicago.
Okay, so Atlanta's in?
I think they're right outside Atlanta.
Because remember, it was Atlanta, Chicago, and Indiana were all fighting for the same couple playoff spots. And we said earlier in the season, if it's close, they're going to find a way to make sure that Indiana and Chicago get in.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta is currently a half game behind Chicago, and Indiana is 2 games up on. So Indiana's the 7 seed, Chicago's the 8 seed. Indiana's 2 games up on Chicago, 2.5 up on the Dream. Is that if Indiana loses, they would only be 1 game ahead of the Sky. I think they're going to make sure Indiana gets this win tonight.
I'll tell you what, watching the rookies, they're no longer rookies. And both those top rookies have turned into 2 of the tops in the league.
Someone said if Angel Reese was a male basketball player, who would she be? And someone quote tweeted and said Jeremy Sohan.
There's nothing wrong with that. Depending on where you were drafted, but yeah,
the WNBA wants them to be a star.
Got 2 consecutive games of 20+ rebounds.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not. There's some things lacking in her game, but I'm not going to take away from what she's doing.
The New York Liberty Bibbity 5-point favorites.
At some point, Liberty got to live up to this.
Yeah, like maybe win a ladies basketball game. They're 5-point favorites at the Phoenix Mercury. The Mercury are comfortably in the playoff race. Surprisingly, when you look at the standings, Las Vegas Aces, if the playoffs started today, they would not have a home game, or they would not have a home series. The back-to-back defending champs struggling, almost lost to the Sky yesterday. If it weren't for Asia Wilson with a buzzer beater.
They didn't win by enough. Cost me some money.
They did not win by enough. The Liberty are clearly the best team in the league right now, but I don't know. They lost last time they were out. They lost outright. I guess maybe that means they're due for a bounce back, the Liberty, but it's hard to trust them.
It's too big right now. I'm waiting. It's too much.
Seattle Storm -10.5, hosting the Washington Mystics. The Mystics are terrible, bad, no good at all basketball team. And Seattle's actually much better than I thought they were. 10.5 just feels like too many, though. I don't think I'm betting on any of these lady basketball games tonight.
I got to see a pattern before I start feeling comfortable again. They're just not. They're all out of sorts.
They've been beating us up, is what's
They
happening.
have been.
They've been beat. Did you have a winner yesterday in the F1?
I did not bet.
You didn't wager
any McLaren stuff. I probably wouldn't have. No, I don't play any on that one.
You don't bet it, so you just watch it.
I just watch it.
Man, that's hardcore. You're a diehard fan.
Well, I don't know really how to bet it other than straight wins and losses.
Jimmy texts me now all his soccer bets every day. It just tells me like, yep, didn't win anything on my soccer bets today. Yesterday it was like I won $10 on this soccer parlay. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I lost $2,000 playing blackjack. And he said breakfast tacos on me this week.
Well, you've earned it.
Major League Baseball, Cole Reagans and the Royals -135 at the Guardians. Nick Sandlin going for the Guards. Ronel Blanco goes to the hill for the Stros. He goes as a hefty underdog today, +140 on your Stros at Philly. Zach Wheeler on the hill for the Phils, -170.
I kind of like this one.
You like the Stros here?
I do.
It's a good price.
It's a good price for a team that up until this weekend had been playing really hot baseball.
Yeah. A couple of once prized Pittsburgh Pirates pitching prospects meet each other head to head. Jameson Taillon, Texas boy, even money at the Pirates. Mitch Keller still pitching for the Pirates. Cubs at Pirates. The Pirates -120 favorites here. Game 2 of the doubleheader between the Royals and the Guardians. Alec Marsh goes for the Royals, even money. Logan Allen going for the Guardians minus 120. Nestor Cortez, a minus 185 favorite for the Yankees. They are at the Nationals with Mitchell Parker plus 155. Mitchell Parker, I believe, the guy who created South Park. So not a totally made-up person, just a made-up pitcher. Jose Barrios goes for the Blue Jays. They are at the Red Sox. Nick Pivetta for Boston, minus 155 are the Red Sox. Bailey Ober for the Twins. They host the Braves and Max Fried. Atlanta, even money on this one. Atlanta just lost 3 out of 4 to the Nationals. Like, what happened to the Braves? Remember when they were really good?
Honestly,
they stink.
I think that they're still super talented. I think we're just waiting for them to flip the switch and get healthy.
I think they're running out of time. Yeah. Padres with Randy Vasquez. They are even money at the Cardinals. Kyle Gibson goes for the Cardinals. Redbirds minus 120. Now, this is an interesting one. The Tigers are at the White Sox. The White Sox are plus 130 at home. Davis Martin is pitching for the White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
For the Tigers, Ty Madden. The Tigers are minus 155. Ty Madden is making his Major League Baseball debut.
Who is Ty Madden?
It's a guy who's pitching at the first Major League Baseball game of his whole wide life. And he's a minus 155 favorite on the road.
Well, the White Sox have only lost 100 games.
They have lost 100 games. The second fastest team to ever lose 100 games. I'm going to be tempted to bet the White Sox today. Plus 130. You made money one time betting the White Sox.
I did. At some point, trends turn. But right now, I don't know, man.
It's very much throwing a dart.
I like the rookie.
Or dropping a Plinko chip, I guess.
I'm liking the rookie here.
All right. I haven't seen. I've got to look up his minor league stats. I don't know anything about the guy, but plus 130. You've never pitched a game in your life?
Well, they have, just not as a professional.
And I guess
the
White Sox are probably worse than some AAA teams now that I think about it. So, yeah, maybe. Edward Cabrera goes for the Marlins against the Rockies. No announced pitcher. Doesn't matter. These two teams are the de facto worst teams, non-White Sox division in the entirety of baseball. It's a pick'em game between the Marlins and the Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Pepiot and the Tampa Bay Rays are at Bryce Miller and the Mariners. Mariners minus 135. I think maybe I like the Mariners here. Maybe they got a little fire in their belly since they fired that manager.
It has helped, though. Not enough.
No, not enough. College football will return on Thursday. So we'll kick into those games on Thursday. But there's some decent games. There's at least some there's a Power 5 versus Power 5 or Power 4 versus Power 4 matchup. That's the good news. The bad news is against Minnesota. But there's games.
North Carolina State's been looked at as an ACC dark horse. We'll get on Thursday night.
Yeah, we'll get to see Utah pick to win the Big 12.
I love when I see this. So Utah is playing a directional school in Utah. This is one of those games where Southern Utah has been practicing for Utah since the first practice in the spring.
They are 38-point dogs. And what's crazy is they are the fourth biggest underdog of the day.
It's going to be crazy to watch, AJ, as all of these transfers of value have arrived at different schools I don't know who Southern Utah picked up, but they might have picked up somebody worth their salt, just enough to keep it close. And so far, every underdog, every one of them, at least for the first weekend, looked pretty good.
So think some underdogs bigger than 38 points, you might say. How could that be? Well, a lot of these games are FCS versus FBS games, like Utah and Southern Utah. The matchup between Central Florida and New Hampshire plus 41.5. I don't know if Central Florida should be 41.5 point favorites against anyone in the world, yet they are. Missouri, a 48-point favorite at home against Murray State. John Morant alum, famous alumna from Murray State. But the biggest favorite of the weekend, or of Thursday anyway, Arkansas hosting Arkansas Pine Bluff. Arkansas is a 48.5-point favorite. I don't think Arkansas was bowl eligible last year. And they
got Bobby Petrino calling plays now, man.
Arkansas is a 48.5-point favorite.
Another local directional school. Pine Bluff, not directional, but you know what I mean.
Arkansas was 4-8 last season. They beat Western Carolina last year by 43 points. I might have to bet on Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm going to feel like such an idiot. That's the worst part about sports betting is you want to bet on things that no one else wants to bet on. That's really the key to winning is if you're betting with what everybody wants to bet, long-term, you're going to be a loser. The best bets are the ones where it's like, oh, this feels really dumb. Like this feels like a bad idea. And then you just cross your fingers and pray.
Well, most of the time, those are the dumb ones too.
Yeah.
At least in my experience. That's when I'm like, yeah, I know more than anybody else around me.
Well, the good news is in these extra games where it's like an FCS school against an FBS school, the books will limit you on how much you can actually lose betting on Arkansas Pine Bluff plus 48.5. So it might only cost me like $200, but inevitably it'll cost me and I'm going to feel stupid on Friday.
I'm just ready for some football, baby.
It's almost here, Rob. It's almost here. I cannot wait. This was an easy show. We didn't even get to this McCarthy sound. But
I'm sure the Blitz will.
And tomorrow's cut day.
The Turk will visit a lot today.
That's right.
We'll see a lot of names hit. I'd be very interested to see how this team looks tomorrow at 3:00 and anything switching today, because I have a feeling they're still in the market for a couple.
You want to come in and do a special episode?
I'll do it again tomorrow at 6.
No, I mean like Wednesday or Tuesday night.
You know, the thing is, AJ, every show we do is special, so there's no need to come in and do an extra one.
You're right. You're right about that. All right, that's going to do it. Blitz at 2. Probably hungover from Vegas. Ed, when you doing that show too?
Pledger's back.
Oh, Pledger's back. Morning Huddle 941. Enjoy the day.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson